What are we at? This is 259, so we're coming up on 260.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Good
Sweet
Lord.
4-8 ounce baby Jesus.
In your little manger.
Your little manger.
Man, we were gonna watch that the other night because Ellie hasn't seen it before.
Really? Yeah, she's at that age now where it's prime.
We tried to find it. It's not on any of the streaming services. You have to
really
buy it or rent it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just rent it on Prime.
You had to download Stars or something.
That's dumb.
How old is she?
She is going to be 13 this month.
Oh, that's a great quoting movie right there.
It is.
Well, that's how it started.
13-year-old.
My wife had quoted it or something, and she was like, "What's that from?" And she was like, "Oh, that's right. You don't know." So,
tisk tisk.
We tried to fix it. We tried to solve it, and
No offense, but
it's rough.
Yeah, not first or last, that's for sure.
But we're here. This is episode 259 of Snakes and Stogies. It is Monday night. This Monday night is brought to you by Fulvius Apparel, fulviusapparel.com. Use the code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your order. That is the exclusive promo code for THN listeners and viewers like you. I do have some new stuff to add to the site. More spider stuff. Sorry. But
arachnid
stuff.
They gave us an arachnid shirt.
Some other things that I also need to finish to get up, added on there and stuff. But either way, go shop around, check it out. Hats, shirts, hoodies, I guess, if you're in a place where it's still cold. Here in the South, it is not.
In situ
stuff. That's right. Almost forgot about it. There's UPF hooded, long sleeve, poly shirts. I have yet to get my neck sunburnt to hell out herping, because when I'm walking around, I'm out in those fields and stuff. I got that hood up. My neck is not red.
It's not a redneck.
That's right. It's not a redneck.
It's red, my collar's blue.
You might be a redneck if you don't go to fulviusapparel.com and buy yourself an in situ UVF resistant shirt.
You got a UPF rating of like 55, which is actually pretty damn good.
Damn.
It's like those fishing.
Standard for most regular poly shirts is like 20. To give you an example.
They're sweat in their good shirts. Mm-hmm.
But they're comfortable. But then say you buy some shirts and then you're like, wait, I need new racks and cages. I'm gonna re-outfit my entire room.
It's payday. I might as well go retail therapy.
Tax return time.
It is the season.
Stimulate our economy. Go to blackboxcages.com. You need racks, you need cages of all shapes, sizes, for all ages. White PVC, black PVC. I think you can get somewhere. It's actually, if you want to do both, you could. If you're a psychopath.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the whole black and white cookie idea for legitimate reasons. You could have more light dispersion, is that a word? Refraction, bouncing of the beams. If you did a white top and white bottom and then kept the walls black, Jen's gonna hate us for this. And then you could see the dirt on the bottom when you're cleaning, because it's kind of hard to see some of the dirt on the black PVC, right? Just a thought. Black and white cookie, tuxedo, if you will.
I feel like it just give you a headache especially if you like alternate it and do like some that have white on the ends, some that have like black on the ends, and you just alternate.
A checkerboard room.
Like Alice in Wonderland or something.
Going down the rabbit hole.
Oh,
that's a pre-show callback.
Shop around. If you need something, they probably have it. Best lead times, best construction,
best shipping
quality, best shipping. I feel like that's not really discussed enough. Is just
it's not, man.
Like if shipping isn't good with cages, it kind of defeats the whole point.
Yeah, man.
Go check it out. blackboxcages.com. If you have any questions, message them on Facebook or Instagram, or shoot them an email. You won't be disappointed. They are legitimately, objectively, some of the best, if not the best.
If not the best, yes.
And then cold-blooded caffeine. That Snakes and Stogies blend. You need to grab it. Mexico and Rwanda together in a bag. Some of what Phil likes, some of what I like, interwoven.
Just interweave.
I thought you were going to do it.
Just interweave.
There you go. Thank you. Use the code SMOKE at checkout. Get 10% off your order. So many options for coffees on there. If you're a coffee person and you don't find something on there that you would enjoy, I would not believe you, because they have a lot of offerings.
Yeah. And not just slapping a name on a bag. Genuine blends, genuine custom roasts. Read the description, read the notes, read the goods, if you will. Don't just take our word for it. Take countless other influencers, podcasters. They all put their 2 cents in, and 2 of your cents, metaphorically speaking, goes back to rainforests and cool critters that we love. So,
are we considered influencers?
I don't know.
I hope not.
I don't know. We don't do enough of this, or this.
I mean, I tried like the whole bikini thing, and people just started unfollowing me and blocking me. So I guess it's just
it is. You know why? It's because you got to go to halter top.
That's where those 2 clowns to come out.
Halter tops are in, bro.
If I just rocked a crop top or something, maybe the bikinis were just too racy. I think that's what it is. People were just scared of how much they liked.
You know what it is? There's you're not leaving anything to the imagination.
Yeah, I'm not leaving some of the mystery.
Yeah.
Just throwing it all out there right away, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Nate said I could influence him any day. That
is true.
That's concerning.
True, but concerning.
What are you smoking this evening?
I had a little Arturo Fuente Cubanito appetizer, and the main course for tonight will be the Crown Heads Mil Dias, which I've never had.
Ooh.
I'm excited.
Is that the regular production? That's not one of the. Yeah,
I think it is a regular. I don't think it's.
It is. They've changed the band since, because the band used to be different.
Yeah, this is the 2025 band or whatever it is.
Those are very.
And then they went to a Fabric Foot band, which I think is very complimentary. You kind of can't see it in the wrapper, which is okay. But it's still a very attractive band pairing, patterning, whatever you want to call it. I will say this: my buddies and I were at the cigar shop. Shout out Cigar Grill, Fort Lauderdale, cigargrill.com. Check them out. Not a sponsor, just love those guys. There are people that smoke the foot band, and I didn't realize that, but there are people that do. Even like nylon fabric, like this one.
Ain't no way.
Oh yeah. Apparently, it's a thing. And they're some dummies. So if you are getting into cigars
and start burning plastic and inhaling,
don't do that. Don't be like, oh, it'll just burn off. No, you're still smoking it. Take it off. Don't be an animal. We're not animale.
I'm gonna do a shop and start doing that. I'd be like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Get out.
And just in case the Mil Dias is not to my liking, there's a Foundation Axum as backup.
Oh, nice. That's a good one too.
Yeah. Little baby box press Corona.
Mm-hmm.
Little nub.
I don't think you'll be disappointed with the Mil Dias.
Okay,
that is one of the better Crown Heads. That is, I mean, Crown Heads doesn't make bad cigars.
No, not at all.
That is definitely one of like probably my top 3 that they've put out over the last decade or so.
Excellent.
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 I think you'll like it.
Thank you. I'm going to toast her up right now.
Do it. I decided to get a Undercrown 10.
Is it written in the green?
Excellent.
I've not had an Undercrown 10 in a very long time.
You and you're not.
Correct. The Baby Liga.
Yeah, man.
It's better than Undercrown, not as good as the Liga. It's right there in the middle. It's the middle child.
It's the middle child that's taller than the Liga and still defends him on the playground.
Yeah. Where the names are. Because your name is shorter than mine.
So it's very good. And then depending on how late we go, I got this Rocky Patel Edge Habano that is very old. 2. That's a great one.
Can you hold up the edge one more time? Let me see that.
It pushes it. I did
nice. Yeah, just a simple foot. That's it. There's a new Rocky that has the similar Tiffany blue, and anyone who knows me knows I'm a total weirdo for Tiffany blue. I'm gonna try and score it this week if I get a chance. It
It's a new
is.
anniversary one, dude. Don't do it.
It is. It's their 30th anniversary.
Is that the one with the black and the blue?
Yeah, it's a black box with the Tiffany
You got
blue.
a picture of it?
Yeah, I got. Check this out. This is what.
Don't do it.
Why not?
So bad.
Really?
Dude, I had one. Yeah, don't do it. I mean, you can do it if you want to, but I smoked one and was really unimpressed.
I'm sorry to hear that. That stinks.
I had high hopes.
That's kind of how I felt about the Foundation 10. In fact, I'm going to have to go get another Foundation 10 because I'm such a Foundation fan. I was a little shocked. I mean, for lack of a better word, taken back that it was not as majestic as I was expecting it to be. So, but we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
Now, we have some very good guests this evening. Would you care to introduce them, Smitty?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, so we're going a little like a sort of a trying to branch out a little more, get back to our sort of the putting more
flow.
effort into like bringing on, guests and trying not to do everything so last minute. But so this round we're joined by Dave and Jeremy of Nature in Your Face, which is a YouTube channel that you can actually check out at the link in the description. They're doing some really cool stuff that we'll get into. I got some questions. I'm curious about some stuff.
Sure.
So
for sure, man. And I love that just glancing at the Instagram is a cornucopia of wildlife. I mean, it's not just like, oh, we like snakes. Oh, like we like frogs. You guys got all kinds of critters up in there. So welcome to the show, guys.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah, pleasure to be here.
You see that comment? Just pop down this comment.
the sort of, as much as we hate to do it, but we do it anyways. The Cliff Notes version of you guys and your history and herps. Like, how'd you get to where you are currently, and were you guys in it very young, or is it something that came in later in life? Like, what's the backstory?
Well, myself personally, because Jeremy and I, we've been partnered in a business for about 15 years now. But of course, it goes back to when I was a kid. I think, like most kids, I was into dinosaurs. Of course, loved reptiles. And as I got older, I realized it wasn't a whole lot of work if you wanted to make a living working with reptiles. So after I graduated from school, I started a company called the Traveling World of Reptiles, which is a traveling reptile show. And we're celebrating our 32nd year. We celebrated our 32nd year in April.
Wow.
And we just hit the 23,000 mark of number of shows we've done in the Chicago area since 1994.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of shows. It's a full-time gig. It's not a part-time thing where we only work weekends. And I hired Jeremy about 15 years ago, and man, he's been helping me out ever since. And the YouTube channel is a little bit more recent. We've been doing that for about 6 or 7 years, but we've been doing the reptiles, the traveling show for many, many years now.
Yeah, so you he's partially the reason why I ended up in Illinois. So I grew up in northern Florida, and that's where my love for not all reptiles, but turtles specifically. So as a kid, back when your parents went to work and you were left alone, we would just head out into the forest. And we would catch gopher tortoises, which obviously you don't want to do that now. And we'd bring them back home. And so I had gopher tortoises, burrows in my yard. You'd lose like a soccer ball going down there. I have to wait for the tortoise to push it back out. Or we'd go catch aquatic turtles in the local storm drain. I don't know why I always had water in it. And there were always turtles swimming at the corner of the street. And we would just catch them and keep them and convince little neighborhood girls to try and pet one until they got bit. But I did not like snakes though growing up. I did not care for snakes, and now they're probably my favorite herp on the planet. So
that's awesome. Something about North Florida guys and gals just turtling it up, man. We got some friends in the Panhandle, and they are some turtle junkies. God bless them.
Hey, don't
Some
sleep
cool
on
turtles
Illinois.
there.
Illinois' got some cool turtle species too.
Oh,
We got
yeah,
banded
Illinois' got some
turtles,
awesome
spotted
turtles.
got some nice common
Yeah.
snappers, painted turtles, soft shells. I mean, for
Alligators, snappers.
Yeah,
You're never gonna
we
see
actually
one,
do.
but they're,
Right,
but
right.
they're there.
Yeah, but for Illinois being so cold in the winter, you wouldn't think that there'd be many herps, but it ranks 14th of the 50 states in the number of species of reptiles, which is a little bit surprising to people when you consider, how many warmer states there are,
Mhm.
in the West and in the South. So
sure.
Illinois is
It's
a
a
pretty
big
cool
state, though.
place
It's a
to
big
herp
state.
if you don't know anything about it.
Yeah. You guys got a wood turtle too, right?
No wood
No,
turtles
no
here.
woods.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant personally. I wood turtles personally, but
Oh
In
yeah, hell yeah.
captivity, we do. They're not native.
Both cool.
Yeah. Close. I believe they're in, is it Indiana or Michigan or one of maybe? I
in
don't know.
Michigan, yeah.
So
Nice.
close, but not in our state.
Yeah, we've been wanting to do an episode on wood turtles. That'd be really cool. Go kayaking, film them in their habitat and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I thoroughly enjoy wood turtles. I don't know anything about them, but I one year we go to the National Reptile Breeders Expo in Daytona every year. And their seminars are turtle based because the guys that put on the show are all turtle guys. And one year there was a wood turtle seminar, and we were drinking, and I walked in like the last 10 minutes, and I was like, "This is so freaking cool! I didn't know there were turtles with spikes on their shells, and you know what I mean, they live in hollow logs and crap, and that was awesome. And I've kind of had an affinity for them, but it's cool that you keep them.
Yeah.
Nice colors and everything. Yeah, they're a unique turtle.
Yeah,
Very
they're beautiful. A lot of personality too in that turtle.
Nice.
So as far as the educational stuff, how do you that's something that's always really impressed me, and I'm always so curious is how do you go about picking what species to take with you? Because I guess it's similar to zoos where you can't have a species that's kind of just going to sit there and not do anything and be a dull brown color. It kind of has to be a little exciting.
Well, actually, I would kind of argue that point, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Our audience that we perform for, 99% of them are soccer moms, birthday party for their 8-year-old kid. They've never even seen, they've never seen a dull-looking rat snake, let alone a 16-foot, 120-pound albino Burmese python. They don't really care. A snake is very exciting, especially to people in Chicago, because we don't have a lot of exotics here. You might have a garter snake or a snapping turtle that you'll see growing up, but other than that, everything is new and exciting. So real quick, I'll give you an example. Somebody one time called me and said, "Hey, I got this albino boa constrictor. It was like $9,000 at the time, and he was telling me if I bought it, it would be a great show on him." I said, an 8-year-old kid is not going to look at a $9,000 albino boa any differently than he's going to look at a 9-foot albino Burmese python. He doesn't know the worth of it. So you got to look at it from your customer's eyes, not through the eyes of a reptile geek like us. Obviously a berm isn't going to impress you or I, but to a 10-year-old kid or even a dad or a mom that's never seen stuff like that, it's just an amazing thing to touch and learn about.
But I think he was kind of hitting on that. That's what it sounded like, because you were saying if it's just dull in color, it's not much to look at. For instance, I use it like an orange Eurymastix. They're like the cheapest pet store crappy, but if you get a male with that bright orange, if you're into the hobby, it's not a big deal. You don't care about it. But his name was Cheeto, and people love that thing. You bring that out, and they're like, "Oh, it's an orange lizard" to them. And so it kind of goes back to what you're saying. They don't know the value, but visually, that thing is really cool.
And one other thing that I should have mentioned when I was describing our show is very comedic. There's a lot of reptiles. So now when I started, there was one other guy, and I never even heard of him. They're going back 30-some years. So I'm kind of like an original traveling reptile show in the Chicago area, and there's probably 30 of them now. And what separates our show from other shows is that we use a lot of comedy. It's almost like stand-up comedy with reptiles. We put so much humor in it because anybody can bring a snake into a library or a birthday party, hold it up and tell you what it eats. Snorefest, So we're original in the sense that we just bring a lot of comedy to the show.
And a lot of energy. Yeah.
we're educators, but we're also entertainers. And you combine that, and it makes for a really good show. And the proof is that we do 1,000 to 1,300 shows every year.
Yeah, and when you make knowledge funny, it stays with people.
Yeah,
so
it definitely
long.
sticks a little better.
That's pretty cool. You said 1,300 a year. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
It's a
we're
lot of
we're about the
presentations.
top 24,000 shows at the end of the year. So
I mean, it's our only job. It's a full-time job.
well,
Wow.
unless you consider the YouTube channel a job, but I don't think either of these are a job. I didn't want to work for a living, so I work with reptiles
It's a job
because
sometimes.
it's something I would have done as a hobby anyway. And it's kind of a cliche when you love what you do. It's not work, but it truly isn't work for us. I mean, 24/7 we get to play with reptiles. I mean, what could be better for people like us?
Yeah, oh, for sure. So just going back to like what Smitty was kind of alluding to, do you guys have, like you mentioned albino berm, right? You have like 3 or 4 albino berms that you just rotate, or do you have 3 or 4 corn snakes that you rotate? That way the same corn snake isn't getting, pulled at and squeezed by kids every single day of the week.
That's probably like one of the most common questions we
Yeah.
get, because we actually don't do shows together. We do them separate, and we have our own animals.
And we have other employees as well. So there's 5 of us that
Okay.
go out and do the show. So the animals are always getting a break. We have more than one of most species. I shouldn't say that, but if, instead of a berm, we might bring a reticulated python. Instead of a snapping turtle, we'll bring a red-footed tortoise. So there's always a representative of the 4 main reptiles. We do have alligators. We're one of the few people in the state of Illinois that's licensed to own alligators. So we both have alligators between 5 and 6 feet right now that we bring to shows, and we can only bring them to bigger shows like schools and libraries. You can't bring them to private parties like birthdays, but huge hit. We got alligators that we can just plop on the table and they sit like statues for the most part.
That's awesome.
Has it been like, having been doing it for so long, have you noticed with the rise of phones and stuff, do you find like over time the attention span has been harder to like hold on to, I guess, for shows? Or is it kind of the same thing of like a snake shows up and people are even if they're terrified of them, I've noticed people are still curious. Like if they see a snake, they're so scared of it, but they're also curious enough to where they want to see it, even if it's from 20 feet away.
Oh, for sure.
What's that been like?
I would say the attention span of the adults has gone down.
Yeah.
So the kids are like locked in and they're having a great time. But sometimes you'll look over and their parents are just checked out, just like. But I usually call them out if they're on the phone during my show.
Yeah, and
get out of the matrix.
Getting back to the comedy, I mean, our shows are total improv. I mean, of course, when you say or talk about the same animal, you're going to say similar stuff. But, a lot of the things that we say, we feed off what the kids say or what the adults say. Sometimes you get the drunk uncle trying to be funny. We've heard it all in the, 23,000 shows we've done. So it's kind of funny when they try to heckle us because, like a good comedian, we shut them down and embarrass them pretty quickly. It's really funny. So no 2 shows are similar. They're all different.
That's great.
And, it kind of breaks up the monotony for us as well. A lot of people go to work and they sit at their cubicle and they stare at the same people. It's always a new, you never know what people are going to say, and it's always a new adventure every show we go to. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you guys both individually got like an answer from both of you guys? Do you prefer an academic setting? Do you prefer birthday parties, bar mitzvah? What's your favorite thing to do?
I hope no one's people are watching this. I will say, first of all, my least favorite.
I know what you're going to say.
Are Boy Scouts shows.
Okay.
I do not like those. And in my personal opinion, typically the scout leaders aren't doing a good job to control the kids and their parents. I mean, they're just letting the leaders do it. So that's my least favorite. I think my favorite type of show are probably big festivals.
Okay.
Where I have a stage, a mic, and like a good sized audience. So it's more of a controlled environment, because when we do birthday parties, if the kid's a jerk or the other kids are jerks, they can ruin the birthday party,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And like even if the one kid's into it, the birthday kid, if there's a kid there that's a punk, you have to fight that the whole time. So I like that control environment where I can just do my thing, tell people what I want, get volunteers who I decide to come up. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's easier to ignore a troublemaker when you're on stage opposed to being 5 feet away and the kid can literally run up and grab your pant
Yeah,
leg.
you don't have to worry about Sid from Toy Story coming up. And,
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't happen often that a kid's out of line, but it does happen. I generally kind of like all shows. I really don't have a favorite or a.
That's a PC answer.
Although I do enjoy doing scout meets, and I can't understand why he always has bad experiences at scout meets. I never really had bad experiences at scout meets. I suppose my favorite might be libraries because there's a mixed audience. You know, for birthday parties you usually have the parents and 12 snot-nosed kids, but with libraries you got toddlers, you got teens, you got parents and grandparents, and it's just kind of like a family environment. And you know, that to me that's fun because it's just a mixed crowd. I kind of don't like doing the just kids, so I would say library is my favorite.
Nice. I not to tell you too many stories. When I was in college, I did something very similar to what you guys do for a local pet shop by us, and it was always different animals because these were animals that were actually for sale. So with the exception of like the big berm or the 3-foot alligator, it was a revolving door of animals you could bring. But my favorite was I did a show in Miami and it was for a kid's birthday party, but it was a very small house with a very small yard and 1 million kids. And they had a bounce house that took up almost the whole yard.
Of course. Yeah.
So the kids, they didn't care. They were just like bounce house, like forget the guy with the corn snake. But the best part was, you know, you have like the cliques of the parents, right? Well, the moms, they were all with the kids by the bounce house, but the dads were all huddled around this window on the side of the house. And I couldn't figure out why until I walked over with an alligator or something. And there's a guy hanging out like half out the window. That was dad. And he was on house arrest.
Oh,
and him and all the dads were hanging around the window so that he could lean out and see his kid and be part of the party. Those dads hanging around the guy on house arrest, bring out another animal, man. They had so much fun.
Heck yeah.
And like, I'll never forget that. Yeah, never forget that.
Where was this at?
Down in Miami.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Miami. That tracks. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Is it doing nursing homes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we do a
nursing homes are fun.
Nice.
I did a nursing home once. I was told it was going to be one thing, and it ended up being a complete other as far as like the setup and stuff. So that was pretty interesting. But they were awesome. Like that whole crowd, man. They were all just absolutely enamored with everything I brought and had so many questions. And I kind of expected the complete opposite. I know I was expecting people to have the typical reaction of like, "Oh, snake's gross," and instead they were all just like completely lasered in to like what I was talking about and what was going on, and it was.
I love doing this.
They're like big kids. They're like big kids.
They revert back to kids. I'll tell you a funny story. I was at an Alzheimer's nursing home, and I started my show by saying, "So, did everybody enjoy that?"
You got to.
Oh my God.
You gotta start off with.
And of course,
wow.
And then one lady in the back, she says, "You ought to write a book." She just kind of screamed it out, and I said, "Well, if I wrote a book, would you read it?" And she goes, "No." And I go, "Why not?" She goes, "I'm blind."
Oh my gosh.
So you get funny stuff all the time. I'm gonna write a book one day of all the stories because I got like 1,000 stories, and every time I have a good one, I jot it down and I put it in a piece of paper in a notebook. Because one day I think after I retire, which I'll probably die doing this, but I want to write a book and put it out, all the funny stories of just being on the road.
That's great. That's great.
Can I tell you one more real funny?
Of course.
I just got one more.
No, that's it.
It'll be 30 seconds. I brought an opossum. Sometimes we bring a mammal to a show. I don't anymore.
Did you segue from old people to
this
is gonna be bad.
So I was at a birthday party and I had this opossum that I had raised from the time it was a little guy. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but opossums only live 3 to 3.5 years. Their lifespan is very short. Well, this thing was 3.5 years old. I get to this birthday party it's time to take out the opossum. I had a big long introduction, building it up. I pull it out. The thing was dead as a doornail. It just died of old age on the way to the show.
Oh my God.
Thank God opossums play dead. I did a 15-minute bit saying that the opossum was playing dead. I had a crowd of like 50 people pet a dead opossum,
That's
thinking it was
epic.
playing dead. It was epic.
That's
I got-
horribly amazing.
I was so sad, but the whole time
That's a
I'm
good
like,
bad story.
look at this. It's playing. See how it looks dead? The thing was
Yeah.
completely lifeless.
We have some bad stories, but
Still
that's a
warm
good
to the
bad
touch.
story.
Oh my gosh, that's woof. So let me ask this: you guys are transporting the animals. You've obviously got containment vessels, containers, delis, snake bags, the works, totes.
Coffins.
What's it? Coffins, hearses. What's it like? Because I live in South Florida, and when I did these animal parties, it was scorching hot all year round, and I always have to worry about, making sure amphibians have ice packs and air conditioning and all that. What's it like to do this in the cold of Illinois? Like, do you ever have issues with temps or humidity or anything with the animals?
Actually, I would say it's nice because the animals are way more relaxed in the winter. I mean, we keep the van heated. We preheat the van, run them outside one at a time, and we always make sure that we are within like 20 feet of the door. Wherever we're going to be, we're like, we have to be close or we're not coming.
It's even in our contract. It states we must park close to the entrance where we're going to be performing. So it's basically like he said, from the car door to the entrance to the building that we're going in. And as you guys know, reptiles, it's better to have them in extreme cold than it is extreme. The heat is what I worry about. I'm not worried about the cold. They'll just kind of go to sleep
Right.
when you're running back and forth to the car, and then at room temperature they just become active in a couple minutes. But the heat is what you got to worry about. If my heater, or I should say air conditioner, went out in the car, I wouldn't be able to bring it. But it's never really a problem.
Yeah, that's the biggest fear is because we can have -40 wind chill.
Yeah.
So if you're driving on the highway and let's just say your van breaks down and won't run,
which has happened.
You
I
have-
bailed you out a
I
couple
mean you have
times.
minutes. Because within a half hour something could die.
Yeah.
It's that cold. So
Well, I'll say this: we've never. This is the honest to God's truth. In 30,
I'm knocking on a wicker chair.
Never lost an animal in transport ever.
Yeah.
next year they all die.
Now, Florida might be a different story, though. I mean, it's always so hot and humid. I think
Oh yeah.
we did shows in Florida, especially South Florida. It might, we might have a few horror stories, but thank God, nothing crazy here.
Yeah.
It does get hot. It does get hot in the summer here. Like I think it's really hot. It could be in the 90s, and we're people want to do a show outside, and that's miserable. It's like the animals are on speed. They are amped up. They're crapping like crazy.
Yeah.
And the kids are hop and sweaty.
As long as we're in shade, we can put them in. It could be 100 degrees. As long as we're in shade, the reptiles are comfortable. We're not.
They're just very active.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Do you guys have any tips on how to be more patient when you're educating kids and they're getting hands on? Because that's something I sort of have always struggled with. I'm not like an ass to the kids or anything like that, but once a year I help a buddy out with this Harry Potter theme thing they do down in Savannah, and most of the time everyone's pretty cool and I don't have any issues, but every now and then you get the kid that's like grabbing on something a little too hard, getting a little, and they're usually very, very young to where they're not aware of how strong they can be. How do you, over time, have you figured out ways to be more patient? Not only with kids, but also with some adults and stuff too. Like as far as educating them, getting hands on with animals. How was that developed over time?
Yeah, definitely learned sometimes the hard way. My kind of rule is as long as the kids and the adults are being respectful, I'm fine with it. Because, sometimes we do shows for kids who have disabilities. They don't realize their own strength. You got to be very careful. We'll have somebody kind of supervise, one of the aides that are with them. We'll have him supervise, maybe hold his hand as he. But my advice to you would be, don't be afraid to tell a kid or a parent, call them out. If you embarrass them, they'll back off. I do it all the time when it happens. And it doesn't happen often, as I mentioned. But if I'm at a school and a kid's being just totally disrespectful and it's just him, or maybe a couple kids and everybody else wants to listen, I'll say something to him like, hey, knock it up. And then, he turns red faced, and then the teacher comes over and kind of pulls him by the ear out of the classroom. I don't have to do it often, but I'm not going to be afraid. Don't be afraid to tell someone, knock it off. You're causing these other people not to be able to hear and learn, and you're disrupting us. And usually that's all it'll take for somebody to just knock off whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you want them, obviously you want them to have a good time, but the animal safety is top priority, and the people as well. So yeah, like he was saying, sometimes just maybe stopping and be like, all right, guys, let's just calm down a little bit. And if you have to talk one-on-one with that kid, like, listen, man, I'm gonna have to skip you if you keep acting like that. You kind of got to go into dad mode, unfortunately, which could be a buzzkill. But I think if you do it in like a firm, loving way, like, I want you to have a good time, but we got to be safe. So if you're gonna keep doing that, you're gonna be out of here.
Listen here, you little shit.
And they usually will be like, okay. If they don't, then you find an adult. And you're like, get this junk out of here. Security. That's right.
You don't want to ever confuse silly with disrespect. I love when kids are silly. Sometimes I get aggravated at the teachers at a school because they'll yell at a kid for saying something funny, and I'm like, "Hey, man, the kid's just having a good time. Leave him alone." And I don't say anything to the teacher, but it's kind of
some teachers
disappointing when the teachers are overly sit down, fold your hands, and shut up. I'm like, no, this isn't math class. We're loosen up. It's fun. Let's laugh. Let's have a good time. So you just got to kind of gauge the situation. And I mean, we've just been doing it so long. We can do this in our sleep,
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a parent or I want to say high school student or someone who is a herper and is just, time vampire?
Time vampire.
You mean in terms of like wanting to
like, oh, I love reptiles and I'm going to gravitate to you guys because you're professionals and I'm going to ask you a million questions. Meanwhile, you're trying to show a bearded dragon to a bunch of kids.
It's usually the parents that do
I was going to say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have you ever had you're showing a bearded dragon to a group of kids, 10-year-olds, and all of a sudden dad comes over. He's like, I've got 47 leatherbacks at home.
You're like, that could be a legal issue. The adults are worse than the kids. Because a kid, you can be like, yeah, buddy, all right, well, I'll get to you in a second.
Yeah.
That definitely happens, and it's awkward when you just gotta be like, all right, I'm gonna ignore you now and trying to go over here. But I mean, it is cool though, because I would say 95% of the time you aren't dealing with people who are really into reptiles, and I actually love it when we're doing a school show and a kid will raise his hand and they know every animal you bring out. They know fact about it, like they're just like enamored with reptiles, and you're like, this kid's cool,
Switched on, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Have you guys ever had it where you segue from one type of animal to another, and then they want you to bring stuff back out? Like encore, if you will. And
that usually happens after the show, like somebody will walk in late, or you're bringing the animals around and the kid's kind of shy, doesn't want to pet it, and you can't sit there and wait for him. You're in time constriction, so you put the animal away, and then the kid's in tears, I don't get to pet it, and then you got to bring it back out and make him happy. So that happens once in a while, but it doesn't really take from the show. I'm happy to do so. I'll usually accommodate it unless I have another show right after, and 3 or 4 parents will come up to the library and say, hey, my kid we got here late. We didn't get to see the snake. Can you pet it? And sometimes you just have to say, I'm really sorry. I've got 10 minutes to pack up and get to my next show. Kind of feel bad, but just say, hey, we'll be at this next library in 2 weeks. Come out and see us then.
That's probably one of the hardest lessons to learn is how to say no. Because people will just they'll time vampire you. And just you're late now. Like you'll never get to leave. You keep opening boxes, more people, show up. So eventually you gotta be like, it's over. Show's over.
Now let me see that possum again.
Yeah. Just keep it.
You just take it home with you. It makes a great hat.
Keep the whole-
Yeah.
They smell like that all the time. That's nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Just their
Make it a
natural
little
scent.
worse.
What's the most popular thing that you guys usually take with you, where you break it out and everyone just kind of loses it?
Gator, maybe.
You think? I think it's the giant snake. I think
That's what I
when you
would
put
think.
like a 15-foot plus snake on a table,
That
it
blows
doesn't
me
matter
away.
who's there. They're pretty enamored with it. So like, they're pretty
Although
impressed.
it's surprising because it happens all the time where someone will say to me, because I ask, what's your favorite animal? And kids will raise their hands. Some of the kids say the smallest, to me, most boring, kind of like almost like a B-side reptile that you're using as a filler, just so that you can fill your whole 75-minute show without cutting it short. You'll bring out a baby snapping turtle or a bearded dragon just because you're like, oh crap, I talked a little too fast. I got to fill in this time gap. And someone will say, oh, I love that thing over the 15-foot python or 5-foot alligator. And I just kind of shake my head like, that's pretty cool that this kid loves the spider or the small Uromastix lizard over one of the giant, just very impressive animals. So it just depends. The majority of people like the big stuff, but it's not uncommon for someone to like a small animal either.
I think it's because they can hold the little stuff. Like I've been using different Uromastix species for years, and people love the Euros. Like, they love the little spiky tail, and they got those cute little heads. So
always licking stuff.
Always, yeah, especially if you feed them during the show, they're real cute.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
I when I was doing that nursing home gig, I took it was a baby children eye. It was a little Antaresia, and that was something that kind of took me surprised, was like not realizing that people don't realize that there's small pythons. Everyone thinks that if it's a python, it's a berm and it's taking over Florida. And so like when I take out this little baby children's python and I'm like, this is a python, everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
I bring a rainbow boa, which isn't very big, but it's beautiful. Fraction of light. And what else?
You know what's funny about that though? I use a rainbow boa, and I swear, kids call you out because if you bring a rainbow boa out in like a school lighting, it's just an orange snake with black rings, and they're like, "Why is it a rainbow? There's nothing rainbow." I'm like, "I know it doesn't look cool right now."
You gotta get one of those little LED flashlights so you can like show them.
Just light it up,
yeah. Whatever spectrum needs to be.
Good idea,
yeah. That's awesome.
You guys have a rhino rat
too? What's that?
You guys have a rhino rat?
No. But I was gonna bring that up. I would love to get into rhino rats. Yeah,
to me, like those and hognoses, I think are some of the best snakes for sort of helping people overcome that stuff, because there's something just so disarming about their faces and that, the horn and the rostral scale and stuff. I have yet to find someone that looks at a hognose and is like, okay, that's not scary at all. Same with the rhino. Like that horn just automatically, for whatever reason, people are like, there's nothing scary about that. It's actually interesting.
Yeah, you just kind of have to break people in, I mean, especially with the spider. I feel that more people are afraid of the spiders than they are the snakes. And I've had some people terrified, and it's kind of like baby steps. I'll have them put their hand out, and they'll voluntarily come up to me and ask me, hey, how do I get over my fear of spiders? And I'll talk to them, and then I'll put one leg on their hand. Here's one, and then two, and then, I'll put it on.
Who are these people, though?
Mostly women.
I was just going to say that. I've never had a scared man approach me and be like, I'm going to hold a spider. No, it's like I've had women crying and they'll hold the spider. I'm like, no guy is coming to me bawling. I just want to hold it.
And, you have to be super careful because, as you know, you drop a spider, especially on a hardwood floor or on the concrete, it's exploding. And you have to read your audience really well. I learned the hard way. This is the only time I ever lost an animal at a show. I had a really nice rose hair tarantula, and there was this kid, and he was kind of wanted to hold it, but he kept putting it. And I said to him, "Look, if you're even slightly afraid, I can't put this in your hand because you're gonna end up dropping my spider." Well, the dad was next to the kid, and he kept saying to me, oh, let him hold it, let him hold it. And he kept saying, come on, Jimmy, hold the dang thing, quit being scared. And I learned a valuable lesson that day. Don't listen to dad, listen to your instincts.
Yeah.
I put the spider in the kid's hand and he went, and that thing fell 3 feet and busted his abdomen. And, oh my gosh, the dad was apologizing to me up and down. What can you say? You know, I mean, it wasn't his fault. It was my dumb fault for allowing him to, you know, hold the spider. I ended up losing that spider, and that's the only time I ever lost an animal at a show.
Damn.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
We've had some tragic moments. Yeah. I still have
I still have
yeah,
tell me a story. Go ahead.
I was bringing a Sheltopusla, you know, like European legless lizard. And we were doing a handicap show for adult handicaps, and had been bringing animals around, people petting it, and there was one girl that I guess she was a little less on the functional side, and she typically had someone who would help her use her hand. And well, when I went around with that legless lizard, the helper wasn't there, and I was just like, "Oh, do you want to pet it?" And she slowly brought her hand up, and like a freaking ninja, grabbed this thing and twisted it, and I could hear its spine just
crackle pop.
And yeah, she like right there paralyzed the lizard.
Oh man!
And I just put it back in the box, and I was like, "That thing's gone." You know?
Yeah.
So a couple horror stories.
Yeah,
but
I still think about that one. It's terrible.
That's tough, man. That's really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you look on the bright side of all the other people that you I want to say touched that day, you know what I mean, who you've made their world better by learning and seeing and touching, and it makes up for the one crappy part. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking to that, I've had people email us and literally, I just had a college student email me saying that they saw my show when they were 6 or 7 years old. Maybe I was at their birthday party. Maybe they saw me at a county fair. I don't think they elaborated on it, but she said the reason that she's going into her specific degree was because I influenced her at a show when she was a little kid. And we get that, you know,
That's awesome.
I don't want to say often, but we get that, you know, often enough that it's like, wow, we've, you know, made differences in people's lives and careers just by doing a silly reptile show. And you kind of take it for granted. You know, I don't go out saying to myself, I'm going to save the world and save the snakes. I just kind of do what I do. And if you can change one person's mind and not hit the snake with the shovel over the head when they're, you know, running over with the lawnmower intentionally, you've done your job. And we've done a really good job over the years doing that. We've influenced a lot of people to at least respect the animals. I tell people all the time, we're not here to teach you to like reptiles. We're here to teach you to respect them. And there's a huge difference. Hate snakes all you want, but don't go out of your way to kill any animal if it's not bothering you and it's far enough away from you and your property that it doesn't pose a threat. That's the main goal of our whole show.
Wise words, man. Wise words.
And it's crazy that you wouldn't think that you would have that kind of an impact on someone. Cause I know, like, there's a picture of me somewhere. I don't know where. I've got it in a photo album, and I was probably 6. And I think my sister was in 4-H at the time. And we were going to one of her meets, and there was a guy there with a berm. Don't know who he was. Don't know what his name was. He you know, looked like he probably had a Marlboro Red hanging out of his mouth at the time. But he had a berm, man. And I there's a picture of me with that berm just like absolutely lit up. And I still think about, like, that's probably one of the earliest memories I have of as far as snakes and like what really got me into them.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that a single person, you know, that you only meet or, you know, you're around for a couple minutes can make an impact like that. Cause, you know, who knows what I would be doing if I didn't meet that guy.
Yeah. It doesn't take much.
Yeah, it is crazy to think that.
Yeah, man. Well said. Well said on all fronts.
But how did you, with the YouTube channel, what was the inception of that?
That's a good segue from doing.
Well, it was more his idea than mine. And we kind of got into the game a little bit late.
What's that?
Is it 6 years now? The YouTube channel?
I think 2021 or 2020. Maybe?
No, 2019.
2019. Sorry.
Great.
So yeah, it's been almost 7 years.
Yeah.
But he approached me with the idea, and of course I was on board with it. Like I said, we're a little bit late to the game. Coyote Peterson was huge, and a lot of the other guys.
He wasn't big yet, but
I think he was.
He was out there. I think when he was doing his stupid, not to call it dumb, his dragon tails. Yeah.
But
which was cool, but he wasn't huge then. Not till he started getting stung and bit.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that our channel was. I guess I shouldn't say that I didn't think it was going to take off. I mean, we're at almost 40,000 subs. We're between 35 and 40,000 subs now. But it's hard for us to dedicate a lot of time to our channel because we got obviously our other careers and work. I think a lot of the successful YouTubers that do the reptile stuff, they seem to be kids that live at home because they have way too much time. They put content out every Tuesday and Saturday. There's no way we can do that. If we get a video out once a week, we're pretty lucky. We try to do that. But some of these teenagers that live at home, all they do is do their YouTube stuff, and they're doing really well because they have the time to be able to do it. Hopefully we'll get there one day, but our channel's doing very well. I think we topped 17 million views recently. And, 40,000 or 35,000 subs, whatever it is. I mean, we're very happy with where we're at. It's only growing. It's only going to get better.
Well, we were herping a lot and traveling and, taking photographs and just basic video.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we're like, oh, man, it'd be cool to start recording some of this stuff while we're out and throw a channel together. So that's kind of what brought us into that, like already doing educational stuff locally. And we knew, and I think this is one of the things that helped the channel grow fast is we're doing, shows for people. And so we can be like, hey, check out our YouTube channel. You like this, presentation? Check out what we filmed in this state or in your own state. So.
And we've got the opportunity. We're fortunate enough that we can take as much time off as we want. We have other employees. So when Jeremy and I want to go somewhere, we'll just give the shows to the other employees and we'll travel. I mean, we were recently in Tiaman Island, Malaysia, 6 months ago in November.
Say Tijuana.
No, Tiaman Island, which is an island off the coast of mainland Malaysia. Where I was just in Borneo. I was in Borneo last week. I just got home 5 days ago.
That's epic.
We've been to Singapore. We've been all over the place. So we've been to a lot of places and found some really,
not all over.
We have. I'd say so. But I mean, South America.
Still alive.
But anyway, we found some really kind of holy grails of reptiles that we were able to highlight on our channel, which is cool.
And the other cool part about herping is we've had some major complete waste of time. So
that's good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we always said Mark O'Shea's greatest shows are the ones where he didn't find the animal.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just build it up.
Yeah.
I just
saw him recently on.
Did you get cancer or something?
On a podcast,
right?
And I was like, I did not recognize him.
I think he was sick. I don't want to spread rumors, but I thought he was sick.
Obviously, everyone gets old, but I hadn't seen him in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, where does he live? Does he live in Asia? Scotland?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he lived in Asia for a while.
No, he's outside of, I want to say outside of Oxford. No, what's the college he's working at now? Oh man, this is gonna bug me. He's
something?
Yeah, he's just outside of London, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, he grew up in Scotland. I know that.
Yeah, he's a giant in this field.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that though. That was always like what Phil was saying. That was one of the appeals of his show for us, was that it wasn't like crazy over the top, and it's like he actually admitted that, hey, we didn't find what we were looking for, but he still had something to offer. It wasn't. That's my biggest gripe with a lot of YouTube stuff now, is just like how just absolutely Cirque du Soleil it is, with just very over the top reactions about stuff that don't really warrant. Like, I understand you're trying to get people's attention, and that's kind of, I guess, the dance you have to do at this point. But I like it when it's realistic. Like, that's what herping is like sometimes it's just you don't find what you're looking for. Sometimes it's just boring.
Yeah.
We went
unfortunately
last weekend and didn't see anything on this road that we were sure we were going to be finding all kinds of stuff on, and we didn't see a thing. And it was like, well, it is what it is. So,
well, that's one of the reasons because sometimes I'll say to Jeremy, man, we didn't get a lot of subs or views this month. What happened? And I say to him, we're not doing the ridiculous jumping on stuff, getting bit by stuff, just over the top reactions like you mentioned. And our channel kind of suffers because of that, because we're trying to do it the natural, the right way. Of course, you'll find a snake and you'll place it down and you'll say, oh, look, that happens because you want to kind of like reenact.
Well, you can't record every.
You can't record
moment,
everything.
but-
So, but other than that, we don't go out of our way to seem like we're some kind of like crazy, animal guys that are gonna grab a king cobra and hold it up and whoa, it's gonna bite me. It's just that stuff. It attracts viewers, but
we actually try to, when it comes to venomous, we try not to handle them on camera. I don't know why. Me personally, if I'm watching someone herp, I prefer that they don't handle the animal. Just visually, I know, I'm not saying we don't. We definitely do, but I'd rather just see the animal sitting there acting naturally. And that's how we try to film it. Obviously, if you flip something and it's like taking off, well, you're not going to get a video of it if you don't grab it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, I'd rather not. I'd rather see some footage of the animal just moving, and watch them than the whole time just this guy in front of the camera, which happens. We make videos like that.
Yeah.
I don't watch our videos either.
Well, as someone who's extremely exhausted with the over-the-top YouTube social media stuff, I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. Tip of the hat, gentlemen. I just Googled it. He's at the University of Wolverhampton in Staffordshire. I'm probably going to say that wrong. And our friend Nipper in London is going to yell at me, but
Staffordshire, maybe.
Yeah, but he's at the University of Wolverhampton.
What is he teaching there?
Yeah, and he's doing research on, from what I gather, wet specimen only, because he's just had so many, he's not a spring chicken anymore, and you can only do field research for so long, So.
Right. He did quite a bit, so
he did a lot. That he did.
Are you guys familiar with Lee Grismer?
No.
Lee Grismer. He's a very well-known herpetologist, mainly focusing on Asian herps, also Baja California. I know it's kind of a weird mix, but we just interviewed him. I write for Reptiles Magazine. I don't know if you're familiar with the magazine.
No, never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've only been reading it since I was 10.
Have you really?
I don't know, whatever. I was one of the first issues. What was the first issue out?
It was a snapping turtle, an alligator snapping turtle.
You don't remember the year or no?
It's like
1994, October of 1994.
Yeah, I have that article somewhere. I have that issue somewhere. So,
but anyway, just because you guys were talking about what's Shay. Lee Grismer's he's kind of getting up there too. But if you look at the last issue of Reptiles Magazine, I just interviewed a real nice interview with him, because when we went to Tiemann Island, he found stuff there that was, he described a lot of species, because he was one of the first people to herp that island.
Yeah,
we went back.
People have been there.
Yeah, not a lot of people have been there. We blew it up there. We got a red-headed crate and just some Uliat's kukri snake, which has only been found a handful of times. So
we blew it up because we had never been, but we definitely did not find what we're looking for.
Quality over quantity. We didn't find a lot of species, but the ones that we found were really cool.
What was the target species?
Blue fairy, pit viper, red-headed crate. And we got the crate. We got the crate, but we didn't get the blue fairy pit viper. It's only been seen 15 or 17 times by anyone.
Yeah, what's the scientific name on that again?
You know what? They just changed it. It wasn't Popeye or something.
I can't remember.
And from what I gather,
Trimeresurus group, it probably
it is. And
what's that? You broke up.
Said if it's in that Trimeresurus.
Yeah, I can't remember the species name.
Changing constantly.
It has something to do with the local word that means fairy.
And they
like a Malay word that means fairy.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't.
Yeah, there's a really good population of them right off the coast on this one little island that's off the coast of mainland Malaysia. And when I was reading, not recently, but I guess that there were so many guys trying to smuggle it out that the Malayan government put like gunboats out there just to stop people from trying to photograph them and picture them.
I mean,
can't
that's what
remember.
this island is. It's off,
Yeah, I'm
off
pretty
mainland
sure.
Malaysia.
I'm pretty sure that they're endemic only to the island, but I could be wrong about
So
that.
yeah, no, it's probably that island. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not on mainland Malaysia though.
But we did meet the wildlife people abruptly, and because people do take stuff all the time.
Mhm.
I guess the poaching is like the mouse deer. A lot of people take the mouse deer.
Oh,
They
really?
they sell the meat or something.
Those are the coolest.
But yeah, we got stopped at like 3 a.m. Just walking back from herping, and
They took us right to the station, searched our bags. Of course, we didn't have anything on us, but
Yeah.
we had to give them our passports.
they went from being hostile to like, and then they were super cool, and they're like, "Oh, we have snakes, captive snakes. You want to see them?"
in the worst, most horrible condition.
were.
I think
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, no substrate, just sitting in
Just
their own
plastic
filth
tubs,
and waste.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, you guys are telling us, you're trying to police us and tell us how to do it right, and you're killing your own own native species that are endemic to the island. It was pretty fun.
Oh yeah.
That's the only goniosoma I've ever seen. They had a captive right there. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's sweet. That was one of the target species. Here
yeah.
it
I
is.
mean, when you guys are planning those trips, are you specifically going to certain ranges to find certain things, or is it like we're going to go to this sort of general area and this is what we're hoping to see, or is it much more sort of pinpointed towards one specific or a couple specific species?
We always have main targets, but any lifer,
Both.
I don't care.
a
It's
little
cool.
bit of both.
So we'll say, hey, we really want to find the redheaded crate, but whatever we find, herping for the redheaded crate is a bonus, because most of the stuff that you're going to find is going to be a lifer if you've never been to the area.
Well, like we went to Nevada to find what's that?
Panamint.
The Panamint rattlesnake, and did not get it. But we found a bunch of other stuff. So,
That's cool. Tell you, man, that's a photo of a lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Photo of a lifetime, man.
Yeah, my prize find in Borneo was I got the Malcolm's pit viper. It was number one.
Oh man.
That's cool.
Oh my gosh, we found. Here's the cool part. The guide that we were with had never found him. He's been a guide for 10 years. It was our target species, and we found 3 within the first hour of herping.
Wow.
And he said it was like 1 in a million that you guys even found one. I mean, it's like, I think if you research it, because I didn't know this at the time. I knew it was kind of a herp that everybody wanted to find, but it's one of the top 5 snakes in the world, pit vipers, that people want to find. In fact, it's the number 1 pit viper in all of Asia. And we don't like, he said, we don't like to handle stuff, but this thing was 30 feet up in a tree, and we got this big bamboo branch, and we put it up in front of it and climbed onto it. We took it down, and we got great video.
No, I said we don't like to handle stuff on camera.
Yeah, okay, big difference.
Very different.
So, I mean, that was probably my highlight of my herping career, was finding that Malcolm. It was unbelievable.
That's cool.
Beautiful snake. If you haven't ever seen one, look that snake up. It's
They're friggin'
absolutely
incredible.
You pulling it up, Smitty?
Yeah, like you showed that picture of me holding that crate, but that never showed up in the video. Like no one was handling the crate in the video. It's just a crate cruising around, doing its thing.
Crates are very chill. We found a Kinabalu crate too.
They're chill. Like they're not
Until they're not.
light, but that thing did not sit still at all. Like trying to get
it's
a video or a photo, so difficult.
And one of the reasons we don't like to handle the venoms is because we feel like it's going to influence younger kids to want to handle stuff.
Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Is that the Malcolm's? Yeah, what a snake! Amazing
position right there.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yep. Yeah, I think people go to Borneo to find the Kinabalu crate and the Malcolms. And I noticed one of your shirts is the leaf nose pit viper, right?
I have a Sumatranus. Sure.
Okay, Sumatranus is very similar looking to the Malcolm. We looked for that, but we didn't find it. But I thought I saw a leaf nose snake on one of your shirts. Leaf nose pit viper. Sorry.
Like a Panesius? No.
Yeah. Am I wrong about that, or?
Honestly, at this point, I don't even.
I think you got a purple mock, right?
No, I haven't done a perp yet.
Oh,
But that's another pit viper on the island that people really want to find.
the leaf nose.
Yep.
Did you guys find a Calicelesma from Borneo or no?
No. What's the other one? The it's the Bornean keeled pit viper. Why can I not think? Subannulatus.
Oh yeah,
Subannulatus.
Tropidolamus.
Oh God, what a beautiful snake! It used to be. They thought it was like a subspecies of the wagglers, but now it's completely separate from the wagglers, and it's turquoise and green. We found an adult female, just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, look at that.
What else? We found a male.
They put that in Pitayas, or is it still Tropidolamus?
No, it's Strepitolammus.
Yeah. Super cool, man.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible.
I'm gonna find McGregor eye. That'd be
McGregor.
one of those
Yeah,
white
you gotta-
McGregor
you gotta-
eye. Oof.
2,000 miles east, Bubba.
Singapore is a great place to herp too. They have like 5 main, very small fragmented areas to herp, but I mean, incredible species. We've been there many times herping, but they got such a broad diversity of reptiles, from saltwater crocodiles to giant, I should say, water monitors
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go with that.
to pit vipers. It's just an amazing place. Wagglers and
Yeah, we had Lou Boyer on Venom Exchange Radio.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, okay.
We're
Yeah.
good friends with Lou.
Yeah,
We
man.
worked
He was.
with him in Singapore.
Oh, I was just gonna say I think he's got a condo there or something. And
No, he used to fly there all the
He's a
time.
pilot.
okay. Yeah. Well, I know he was doing like Japan to Singapore, then back to Japan, then back to
Yeah.
US, and then back
Yeah.
to Japan. But he was saying that there's like, I guess, a bunch of just normal nature trails around town, and you can find all kinds of crazy herps just
Okay.
right from your hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
paradise
Yeah.
tree snakes. I mean, just bronzebacks, just amazing species.
Yeah, it's not like other parts of Asia where you're in the jungle. Like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
just on trails.
Yeah.
And you're finding all the, king cobra could slither by, or spinning cobra.
Caliophus.
What is it?
Calliophus. Oh,
Yes.
we did not,
Okay.
unfortunately. You can. Lou is like the
He's the
king.
he's the Caliophus
We
cowboy.
found like 8 of them.
Yeah,
That's our
like,
white whale. We can't,
We don't even like to talk about it, unfortunately. But,
because it's very common and easy to find. But every time, 5-6 times there, I never found him.
every
It is.
time
It's his height. His height lets him see through the jungle. That's what it is.
Lou,
we'll let
Yeah.
you. Yeah, we'll leave that answer for you. But
Yeah.
when we were in Tiamat, he texted. Was like, "Good dad, cool snake yet?" I'm like, no. And then I sent him the crate. And he was like, "Oh, I don't think he's ever found that." So
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
send him a
cool.
picture somebody hasn't found and shut that.
I got to be honest, man. You may be one of, or two of, I should say, excuse me, very select few Westerners that have ever seen a redhead from Borneo.
I'm sorry, what?
A redheaded crate from Borneo.
It was
Well-
actually the Kinabalu crate. Which
oh
is
yeah, we saw the red crate on
In
Tiamat.
Oh, on Tiamat. Okay,
But no, the
okay.
Kinabalu crate is
Yeah.
incredibly
which
difficult.
even on Tiamat, it's not common.
Pull up that Kinabalu crate and look at it. It is the most. I mean, the pattern on that snake is amazing. If you cut it in half, it looks like 2 different snakes. It's got almost like a milk snake pattern from maybe 2/3 of the way down to the tail, and then it's got a red body and then a black spots and then a golden yellow head. It is the weirdest looking snake, but what a find that was, man. We shouldn't have found either of those snakes, and we did. Sometimes you just get lucky.
That's cool, man. Very
Yeah.
cool.
But the
So
red-headed
you
crate's
got 'em?
only been found a handful of times on Tiamat.
Yeah.
It's found other places in Malaysia pretty easily, but not on Tiamat.
Very cool.
The irony is though is I would say any
Yeah, there it is.
video we've ever made traveling, they don't get that many views. I think our biggest views are like stuff we've done in the States.
Yeah, local. Is that the Kinabalu?
Backyard herps.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that thing.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we were like little kids jumping up and down when we found that snake. It was absolutely amazing.
That's awesome.
And then, the Dendrolophus species, which are all the bronzebacks. I mean, striped bronzebacks, elegant bronzebacks, blue bronzebacks, painted bronzebacks. I mean, just so many cool species. Haas's, Copsteins. I mean, we found a bunch of species of those as well. They're pretty common there.
That's very cool, man. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I see that stuff. It just reminds me that I gotta get out more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let
For
us know
sure.
when you're going to Arizona, man. If we can, we can go out there with you guys. We'll hit up some spots where you're pretty much guaranteed to find some cool stuff.
Yeah, what's your favorite things to see in Arizona?
Well, for the longest time we were trying to find the Gila monster, which 95% of the time it's underground.
Oh yeah.
You can find them in any
Gilas
month.
are always cool.
But
I've seen 4.
I've seen 0. Now, what I mean by that is I've seen the ones that he spotted.
2. You've seen 2.
No, the ones
Okay,
he spotted. I'm saying
if you're
I never
100
find-
yards
If we're
apart,
hiking together and
counts.
I find something, you're over there. It counts.
that counts. That does count. Oh, he's one of those guys now.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
geez.
I'm not one of those guys.
He's being
I'm
weird
not
about
one of
the
those
Gila.
guys. There's this guy that I know that hurts. I'm not going to mention his name because he's pretty well known. He told me a story that he was driving down the road. They were in a vehicle, like 6 herpers, 3 in the back, 3 in the front. They were all looking out the window. The driver spotted the Gila monster. He told me he doesn't count it as his lifer because he wasn't the one that spotted it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, just be happy somebody spotted it. That's why you have, that's why you have
That's a
6
very
pairs of eyes.
cynical way
It's a dumb way
to look at like life.
Yeah,
I only
that's,
mentioned it because he gets lucky with the Gila monsters. He finds them, and I'm right next to him, and he's the one.
well,
that
here
spots it.
I'll make you feel better. We went to a locally known Gila monster spot. Like, it's not known to everybody, but to the guys that herp that area day in and day out, like that's the Gila monster spot. We went and we hiked it for at least 2-3 days at the right times, bouncing around from spot to spot. Not a single track, not a tail drag, nothing. And then I took a bunch of scenery photos that I could use for my Gila monster at home backdrop, like the habitat, and I fly back on Sunday. Monday, our good friend Dr. Zach Loafman goes out there with grad students to that spot. The next day, finds 2.
That's how it goes sometimes.
That's how it goes, man.
That's how it goes all the time. Because when we went to West Texas, some of our other friends went literally like we went at the beginning of June, they went at the end of June, and they did great. I mean, we didn't do bad, but
I thought we did fantastic for our first trip.
But Chris and them went at the end of that month, and they got a little bit of rain. We did not, so things were much more active when they went. That's how it goes.
I think one trip to Arizona, this was early on, before we figured out like monsoon was like the time to go.
It's like a trial run.
We didn't know, because I don't know why we didn't know, but they were having a drought. What do we see? Like three snakes, maybe?
Terrible.
The entire trip.
It was like $1,000 down the drain.
Like blackhead snake, this tiny, which we'd never seen before.
Yeah.
And then a gopher snake and a atrox. Like,
It was terrible.
One Western Diamondback, which is insane to go to Arizona and see one Western.
Yeah, we call those the squirrels of the Southwest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I grew up having cowboy westerns metaphorically shoved down my throat, and I've grown up loving the West and cowboys and all that shit. And the first time I ever went out there was right like at the start of a super bloom, and I get out in the middle of nowhere with my herper friends, and I'm like, where the hell is the desert? Like this is like a prairie. Like what are we? It's everything's green and flowering. And then my friend who's a professor at the time, she's like, oh no, man, this is super bloom. This is you're lucky, man. Some people go their entire lives and never get to witness this. I'm like, yeah, but there's no desert. Where's the desert? I only found one snake that entire trip, and luckily it was a baby white speck. So that was cool, but it was so much greenery, couldn't find nothing.
Huh. Yeah, and those super blooms only happen sometimes they don't happen at all. Some they'll happen like once every 5 or 7 years where they have a super bloom. They get a usual amount of rain.
It is crazy to see the difference though. Like when you go there and there's no vegetation, and then you come back and you're like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
So getting back to not finding anything, sometimes it only takes one cool thing to find. I was herping Arizona about 5 years ago, and something caught my eye. I looked to the left, and it was a California king snake that had just grabbed a patch nose snake.
Wow. That's
and
awesome.
that video got 1.7 million views.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And it's one of the only things I found on that trip, snake
That's
wise.
an epic find, though.
Yeah,
It really is.
If I would have found those individually, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But the fact that I caught on camera, I didn't catch it grabbing it, but I caught it like as it was kind of constricting it. And I sat there for 15, 20 minutes and filmed from every angle, that thing constricting it and then swallowing it down. And
it's awesome.
I mean, I made sure I was like steady-handed, and it's a beautiful video. It's kind of gruesome if you feel bad for.
But it's once in a lifetime observation, man.
Mm-hmm.
We've gotten lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say at the beginning of this, I'm getting notifications, and from our YouTube, I was laughing because it said, "That's a copperhead, dudes." And
let's
so we were
on this podcast.
Like, you guys ever heard of Snake Road? Yeah, I mean it's a pretty
of course.
Yeah, so we like to go there like twice a year, just because it's within like 5.5 hour drive from us. And one of our most popular videos is we filmed a black racer, or what are they now? Eastern racer now. They changed it. Eating a juvenile cottonmouth.
That's cool.
And so I don't even know if there's another video out there of a racer,
eating it. Yeah.
Eating a venomous snake, period. But it was eating. Yeah, it had grabbed and was crushing the cottonmouth. The cottonmouth bit it in the head multiple times and venomated it. Didn't do anything to the racer.
Wow.
We stayed the whole time. It swallowed it down, and then it left. And so obviously we speculated that they must be somewhat resistant to the venom, similar to a king snake. But I don't think there's really any studies been done on this, and that has had so much controversy. Either people being like, "Oh, they're not resistant to venom," or like, I mean, you watch what we watch,
Right?
Yeah.
And or the biggest is people telling us that the juvenile cottonmouth is a copperhead just because it has red color.
So much hate from people.
We're like,
ridiculous.
It looks nothing alike. And we ended up making a whole video, cottonmouth versus copperhead. And at the beginning, we put all these people's stupid comments. Like,
I got to go back and watch that. I got to watch that.
Because they're so angry. They're like,
I love that.
Identify snakes.
Somebody literally just commented that it's a copperhead while we were watching
the
podcast. Crazy.
I just posted a reel to my Instagram the other day of a copperhead that I came very close to stepping on the other day while I was out flipping some tin, and it's a picture of it just in the leaf litter in a little spot of magnolias and stuff, and it's like invisible. And there's so many people that commented on it that are like, "There's no snake in that picture." I'm like, say what you want to. It's literally in the center of the frame, like it's right there. So it was either people saying there's nothing there, or it was people saying, "Oh, I would have killed it." And I mean, I didn't respond to pretty much any of the comments just because I was like, I don't have time to deal with this nonsense. But it was surprising how many people were like, "There's nothing there." I'm like, why would I post a picture of leaves and be like, "Yeah, there's a copperhead there"? Like, it's kind of proving the point that they're freaking invisible. They want to be, like,
for sure.
Yeah, that's the one thing about having a channel. It's like I had to kind of step back and calm myself down because I get so aggravated with some of the comments and some of the dumb things people say and accuse us of. Some people accuse us of setting the animals. Like I'm going to catch a king snake and a patch nose and throw them together in the desert in the middle of nowhere and start filming them. And
the worst one was our second video ever. Our second video ever.
The hognose?
In Arizona. The hognose was our first video.
Yeah. Then the
second video ever was a hawk wasp.
Oh,
stinging a tarantula and dragging it into a burrow. Like, we were like in a parking lot. I think it was almost the end of our trip.
That's so cool, man.
We just happened to see, a hawk wasp and going in and out of burrows and just observing it. And next thing we know, tarantula comes out and we're like, bam, we got our cameras and we film it. Well, we got like death threats. People saying, I hope you
Yes.
die a horrific death because they thought we put the animals together to
No.
fight. So I think we titled it, Spider, Hot Walls versus Tarantula, and we put in this silly little. As soon as they started fighting, I made like this animation of a boxing ring and the spider and the wasp come down just to be stupid, and so people thought that we put them together. We did. You know what I think though? In the beginning we kind of did like a reverse video, so we filmed that. And then we went and caught a hawk wasp in a jar so you could see it.
Just to
But
describe.
then we
Right.
literally on video, we let it go, flies away.
Mhm.
And then we also catch a tarantula, just by kind of dingling on the web there with a little stick, and it ran out and we picked it up. And so I think they thought we kept those two animals,
Yeah.
put them together. But in the video, you see
Yeah, it's
each
in
every
the-
ant fly away, tarantula goes back in the burrow safely.
Do you know how much money we'd make if we can train a wasp and a spider?
Yeah.
To
like-
add command. Okay, go. Fight. We.
Mortal Kombat.
I mean, yeah, there were people wishing death and
I
horrible
can't even
pain.
tell.
Crazy.
I can't even say on this podcast some of the stuff. Remember that one guy?
No, yeah,
I can't even
yeah.
say it.
Terrible stuff.
Well, it's interesting. We always check the comments on certain posts. Like I'll see something that's a little outlandish. I'm like, all right, people are gonna say some stuff about it. So I'll click the comments just to be nosy. And there will be some really heinous stuff in there. And I'll click that person's page. And the minute it opens, there's 0 posts, 0 uploads, and it'll say, if you're reading this, I pissed you off.
Really?
They're just
And it's like,
professional
that's-
Trolling you?
trolls, huh?
There's
Yeah.
that's their sole goal in life, and now you're giving their page exposure, right? And I think it's disgusting, but
Yeah, I think they get off on arguing with people.
yeah, of
You know?
course.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's why I just don't respond to a lot of that stuff.
Rage
Man.
baiting.
Like no one's gonna change their mind. Like I'm not gonna explain to somebody that copperheads are something that lives here just like everything else does. It's no different than a squirrel. I'm not gonna bother. Like it's just not worth the time. They're not gonna change their mind. They're gonna have their stupid opinions no matter what. And so it's like I just don't respond. Like that's become sort of my default. Even with some of the comments we get on our videos from people that are in the hobby to some degree, it's like I'm not going to argue with you on the internet, man. I ain't got time for that. I'm usually at work or something, and it's like there's literally a million other things I'd rather do with my time than sit here and argue with a stranger on the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
The nice thing about dumb comments is you usually are going to have other commenters bury them for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
We get people, no, it's not a cottonmouth or copperhead, it's a cottonmouth, and then just people pile on the one person who came at us and said that it was a copperhead. So it's
And it depends. If someone just says, "Hey, that's a copperhead,"
yeah,
we're not mean about it. We're just like, "No, it's a juvenile cottonmouth. They're
I'm
red."
just saying,
But
you
it's when it's like, you guys are a bunch of morons, and we're like, "You're the one that's
Now,
wrong."
you said
know?
that observation was near Snake Road or on Snake Road.
It was right on the
Snake
road.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: I don't think I've ever seen a cottonmouth from that neck of the woods. How do the adults vary to like some of the southern or more eastern stuff?
I'd say they're darker.
Darker,
Yeah.
Yeah, the northern
just almost
cottonmouth is like just
completely
like
black.
all black. Yeah.
Okay.
Like no pattern once it's an adult, compared to like a Cananti, like a Florida. Yeah, like you get a nice pattern.
Yeah, like a
Yeah, they're
western's
really,
got a
really
little
dark.
I
brown.
think the stripe is more pronounced on the face.
But the babies aren't. I mean, the babies are like beautiful pattern.
Yeah.
And little caudal lure and the red and.
Are the babies more red up by you than they are, say, more tan or khaki by
They
me?
can be both. They're
Okay.
khaki, and then you'll see one that's bright.
A lot
red.
of them are very red. Like when you first spot them, like my brain says copperhead, and then I look at them like, oh, that's
Yeah. Oh man, that thing is gorgeous.
What is it?
That's yeah.
I can't see that. I
Juvenile
don't
cottonmouth by a
Yeah.
plain belly water snake.
Okay. Is that actual?
Man, that thing is killer. I
That's-
got to be honest.
yeah.
I would keep that. I would. if I
Yeah,
was
I mean, a
legally,
lot
if
of
I was
them look
legally
like
allowed.
that, but they're not going to stay that way. It'll be black.
Yeah, I have an affinity for swamp lions. That's it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, yeah. I just ran across that shirt. I love that shirt. The swamp lion.
Yeah, man.
I've become quite fond of them myself now, Phil. After that last trip to Francis Marion, where we found like a million of them, I was
Dude,
like,
they're
hooked.
just-
I'm like, dude, let's stop at this culvert and find more cottonmouths because they're
Yeah.
everywhere up there, man.
Let me ask you, of all the
Yeah.
of all the rotten mouths that you found that trip,
Yeah, I'm good.
How many of them
Oh,
actually
shut it.
gaped at you?
Are you asking me? Oh, he's asking.
A pretty good bit of them, actually. At least the adults. Like we found some neonates, and they didn't really do much of anything. But the adults, yeah, a couple of them definitely stopped and did it. But
Nice, good. How is the, not to shift gears on everyone, how is the Rocky Patel?
which Rocky?
The one you were smoking?
Oh, I'm smoking that League of 10 still, or not?
Oh,
League of
that's
the
right. I'm
Omicron.
sorry. I forgot. Sorry.
It's good.
And it's good.
Oh, I don't know what a Rocky Patel is.
What was that, bro?
I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh no, sorry. Just switch back to cigars for 5 seconds. Smitty, was that the 10 that had the ribbon down the body of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
yellow.
that's good smoke, man. Good smoke.
It is.
That crown heads started off fantastic, and the halfway point just got kind of tight, and I put it down, and oh man, Axum for the win.
Do you guys only smoke cigars, or do you smoke cigarettes?
I have been cigarette free. I won't say I quit. I hate saying that I quit. Cigarette free. It was a year on the 19th.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I've never even touched cigarettes.
was
Jake
Most
quit too, but then if
cigar
Jake gets
smokers I know
smoking up,
don't smoke cigarettes.
yeah.
that's my thing is I think the hardest part about quitting cigarettes was realizing that I wasn't addicted to nicotine. I just love smoking. So now I'm like, well, it's been a year. I should have a cigarette, just test the waters. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Why you gotta test the waters?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see if I'm addicted or not.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, you walk into a cigar shop and light up a cigarette, you're gonna get jumped.
Yeah, right. That's cool, man. I'm glad you guys got cottonmouths up by you. I didn't even realize that they went up that.
Yeah,
far.
we're at the
Well,
very
they're not-
northern end of our range.
I mean, where we live, they're not here. We have to drive.
You could
5
drive
hours to see
south
them.
to yeah.
But where we go, I mean, you're tripping on cottonmouths.
Yeah,
down
Snake
south.
Road. We have seen 40 to 50, almost 50 in just one day hiking.
Awesome.
Like they're
Awesome.
everywhere.
Love
Almost
it.
like it gets to the point where like, not another one, you know?
Yeah, you don't even pay attention. I mean, we've seen them like in trees. They'll climb trees and stuff
Oh, yeah.
above you, and yeah.
And here's the question: how many times have you been chased?
Never chased. We had
Love
one,
Yeah, I was
which
on
we
that
didn't
little
know.
island.
We looked into it, and I guess there is some den aggression. Have you heard of this?
Go on. I'll
So-
chime in a minute.
So we had it's what someone said to us. We kayaked to this kind of little island wooded place off the river, and there was like a rocky outcrop, and we climbed over the rocks, and there was a huge,
Absolutely enormous.
I mean, like a unit, and as soon as it saw us, it gaped and moved at us several feet and backed us up, and then it turned around and went down a hole. And so we were like, wow, we've never had that happen before. And so
Now, do you think you spooked it, or do you
I'm
think
sure
it
we
was
started it, of
a
course.
mob
You know,
of babies nearby?
I mean, no idea. I always thought it was that giant beast.
Because I've seen there's a whole thing of like, well, does a Kistrodon nest or not nest? Excuse me. What do you call it? Den? Does a Kistrodon den? And it's a question of, are they denning because they want to be near each other, or are they denning because they all found the best spot to chill?
Right.
You know, and I know there was a young guy. Forgive me if you guys hear the plane flying overhead. There was a young guy who's been doing his damnedest. He's doing a hell of a job disproving all the myths about cottonmouths. I want to say he's in Alabama or Georgia somewhere, and he does some things that are a little reckless in terms of like stepping near them on purpose to show that they're not going to chase you and go after you. But he's got some great observations. I wish I remember the guy's name. He's got some great observations of the, like, I must say postpartum, but like mom gives birth to a litter and hangs out with the offspring for several days, if not weeks, to make sure that things are kosher.
Yeah.
And then everybody starts to just go off on their own. And I've heard stories of guys that were looking in cracks on the canal, on the creek, you know, on the banks of the river, whatever. And they find 2 or 3 big adult females with 10 juveniles or 10 babies, and everyone's kind of defensive and they're kind of hunkered down because of the babies. But the question is that mom protecting and being maternal, or is that just they're stuck in a corner, you know? So it's very interesting that you guys got to witness that observation. I think it's a great observation.
It was the only time, because other than that, they gape and they either go the opposite direction or they shoot past you.
Yeah.
Or they just stand their ground and open their mouth. But
never had one that come at us.
If somebody asked me that question, do cottonmouths chase people? My answer would definitely be no.
Always no.
I mean, we've seen thousands of them. Literally,
people have these crazy stories where they're like running and the cottonmouths like. I wish I could have been there. You know, like
there's been. It doesn't even have to be a cottonmouth, but snakes in general. Sometimes they won't even recognize you as a person. They'll pick up movement, and they might be slithering in between your legs past you because maybe there's the hole that they are used to going and escaping down under. They go right at that, and you're blocking the path.
Yeah, no one seems to consider that as a possibility. I don't.
Yeah. The exit happened to be between your legs.
You're just in between them and where they gotta go.
Well, ask yourself this: what non-venomous snake? What benefit would it be for a non-venomous snake to chase you? Because it doesn't have to be a cottonmouth. People will say if a snake's coming at you, it's chasing you. No, it's not. It's not chasing you. It'd be the dumbest thing. And evolutionarily wise, if you think about it, the thing would be extinct if snakes came at you and came at large predators. It wouldn't be.
I mean, there's probably like a handful of species of snakes that
the king cobra is the only snake that has been definitely reported to attack people that have disturbed a nest. The only snake is the king cobra that I know of. Maybe a black mamba, there's a few stories, but other than that, I think the king cobra is the only one that you can actually say guards its nest, and if you mess with it, it will come at you.
But eventually they're gonna, like, if you back away, they're not gonna continue to chase you like a mammal. A mammal will run you down if you're in their territory.
14 miles an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. I found the cottonmouths to be way easier to work with than any of the copperheads we've come across, as far as just like management and getting it to sit still. Like some of those copperheads we found up in Frank a couple weeks ago, dude. Like it was frustrating how uncooperative they would be when I'm trying to set them aside while we're still flipping some tin and stuff. Like there was one in particular, man. Like I've never had a copperhead this spastic.
I was just
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yep. Isn't that strange that they're both Echistrodon, but they're just totally opposite snakes?
Yeah.
You know?
The one's the land moccasin. But copperheads are very spastic. That's a good way of putting that.
We gotta Smitty, we gotta get you those tiny little micro gentle giants. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those new ones that Midwest just came out with. We can get you those and just bucket them all as you go, and then once you're done, you can just dump the bucket out.
Yeah.
I know because it kicked on.
Even when we're cruising that road, the little babies are everywhere, and they like getting them just off the road is like, dude, I'm literally trying to save you from becoming a pizza. Like, I love them though.
That's what we do, bro. It's our Echistrodon.
I don't think we've ever had a cottonmouth strike at us. They'll gape, but we've never had one physically strike at us. Whereas copperheads are nuts. They'll, you look at them wrong and they'll come at you. You know.
You guys find Snake Road to still be like really productive, even if it's become as popular as it has with the herping crowd? Like, has it? You noticed any sort of decline, or just
we don't go on the weekend at all?
Oh,
we go during the week.
When no one's there.
I would say if you go on the weekend, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go on a Saturday for sure.
Is it herpers or is it just outdoorsy people?
Mostly herpers now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would say. I think it's people who have an interest in snakes. Would I call them herpers? Not necessarily.
But not just people walking in the park. You don't.
Right.
Yeah.
It's people going to see snakes, but I don't. I would say they're just getting into it, and they're like, "Oh, we could go down here and we could see some snakes."
Yeah. The reason I ask is because we've got several Everglades-ish places by me, and the python hunters have a license to hunt pythons, and that gives them gate access to water management and stormwater treatment areas, as well as some of the wildlife management areas. And they're not as they're not herpers. I mean, there are some that are herpers.
They're not snake people. Like that
They're not
girl that
snake people.
picked that cottonmouth thinking it was a python.
Exactly. And they're literally running over countless
say that.
snakes looking for pythons. And then when they do find a python and they kill it, it was just a giant female green water snake.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was
No.
similar by you guys, where, you know, they're
Yeah,
looking
it's-
for a particular thing and it turns out to just not be what it's supposed to be.
Well, that's
And
why
they
they
wanna-
require a license. I mean, they don't want people.
Well, you're not allowed to touch anything on Snake Road, technically.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
there's
you
no
can't.
handling. There's no snake hooks.
Oh, wow.
No
Okay.
bags.
They police it pretty well,
And
which is a good thing.
people will snitch on you super quick if they see you.
Interesting.
They do. Some people don't. We'll flip logs, rocks. We make sure we put everything back. We try to
Which
be
is
very
legal, you can
respectful,
do that.
and you
Yeah.
can do that. There are people there who don't like you to do that.
Of course,
But,
there's always somebody.
I just went down there recently, and I missed the migration. And I would run into people who were only walking the road. And they're like, "Oh man, I haven't seen anything. You know, have you seen anything?" And I'm like, "I found like 7 snakes." And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, did you go off the road?" And I'm like, "Of course. You know, I'm all over the place because the road goes through. You know, the forest. You can walk toward the bluffs. You can flip logs, rocks, and you'll find all kinds of stuff. But some people, they do not like you to do it. There are people who are so overly emotional that if you video yourself making a cottonmouth gape, which is just your presence, they'll be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're stressing that snake out," you know, and you're like, "That's if you just look at that snake, it'll gape," you know.
And, you know, when we go down to Snake Road, we know the area so well that sometimes we'll go down there and we won't even go to the road because there's so many other kind of hidden places that not a lot of people know too much about, that you can find timbers and all the other snakes that you would otherwise find on the road off the beaten path. And there's not such a huge crowd of people. So
But I recommend it though to any.
if you've never
herper.
been to Snake Road, you've got to go.
If you hit the migration right in the spring or fall, it's incredible. Like there are just snakes everywhere.
You'll find 15 species in one day. It's amazing.
Wow. That's all.
When I was there just recently, which I didn't like, and I didn't think you could do this, but I guess you can. There was a guy riding his bike on. It's a gravel
Yes.
road, and I've seen people step on snakes if they're just walking and talking,
Yeah.
and they don't see like a little
Get
decayed
decay
brown or
or
something.
something.
I've seen them step on it. Like there's no way on a bike that
Yeah.
you know.
But it's illegal.
Remember that time there was someone almost was with us, and he saw a snake. You know, because you can see down the road, and there was a snake slowly coming across the gravel road, and he just takes off sprinting. And when he gets halfway down there, we see him just jump really high, and we're like, "What is he?" He almost stepped on a cottonmouth that he didn't see.
Oh,
When he
wow.
was running, and he was only looking at the snake ahead of him. So,
Wow.
you know, if you're not paying attention, you could definitely injure some of these snakes that are just sitting on the road. So that would be the negative to on the weekend, like a giant crowd of people
Mhm.
talking, just enjoying their time. I mean, who knows what they're stepping on, you know? And the universities go there too, and they rape that place.
Really?
Like they will just flip everything. You're talking about like 20, 30 students.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It is unfortunate, but we're part of the problem because we're herpers and we go down there. But when I first went down there with Jeremy 14, 15 years ago, I'm not kidding you. Nobody knew about Snake Road except serious hardcore herpers. Herping has just blown up in the last, I'd say 7, 8 years. It's gotten ridiculous. I mean, when I went to Singapore with Jeremy the first time, I mean, other than Lou, I knew nobody who went there. Now, if you Google or get on YouTube and you search Singapore herpers, 100 videos come up. It's like, I can't believe how many people have gotten into herping. And it kind of sucks, to be honest with you, because
It's a blessing and a curse.
As selfish as it sounds, I don't want people to go to these cool places where I'm going to find these cool animals, because when everybody starts going there, it changes. And I've noticed
Now you
this.
sound like
No. I'm only saying this because
the people in Snake Road.
we've gone to places back to Singapore where
But they
the
hurt.
snakes are
They
not
hurt
found
differently.
anymore.
They hurt differently. One, there are people poaching snakes in Singapore.
Mhm.
And two, it's such a small place that
Every day,
If someone's going out at night and they find, say they find a Calliope, they're gonna be like, "I got this snake," and like 15, 20 people are gonna show up with cameras.
Really?
And have a photo shoot.
Sounds
That's
like
why I
that.
said we're part of the problem, because who am I to tell other people out there? I'm just telling it from personal point of view. It's just it kind of, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you don't want people disturbing the places that you know where those cool snakes are, because you want to see them every time you go. And now, I really think herping in the next 10 years is just they're gonna start passing laws where you're not able to go to these places anymore, because I think it really is starting to affect behavior of snakes in some of the places where it's overherped.
But I don't think it's just people are going there to herp is my issue. Like, I don't feel like everyone's going to be as respectful and responsible as we are. You know, like there's going to be a lot of idiots that show up, and maybe they're just new, so they don't mean to be an idiot. But still, if there are 50 new people mishandling the animals or flipping habitat or destroying habitat because they don't know any better, then that's when some issues can show up.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we caught some of that action in West Texas. Like, what was the only Lepidus we saw the entire trip was in a bucket from that group that was just bagging every single thing they came across with a freaking pulse.
Yeah. And we were herping in national and state wilderness land where you can't field collect anything. And they've got buckets of shit.
Got a hatchback filled with like floor to ceiling with buckets and delis.
What was their intent on doing that?
Oh, they're flipping it.
But I think
really? Yeah, they're selling
they're selling all of it. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of those places aren't policed enough. You know, they don't have enough rangers that are out there catching people doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It's even Snake Road. If I wanted to take a timber rattlesnake home, I could easily do it with no trouble whatsoever. You just stick it in your backpack and leave. And I'm sure people do that. And that place is probably more policed than any other place I've been.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if police, because if you go there during the week, there's no DNR, there's no one. It's the forestry department.
Nobody goes during the week.
But when there are people there, I mean, they do look out for the place, and there have been a lot of people that have gotten in trouble. But then again, there have been people who've gotten away with collecting cottonmouths from there. I don't know about timbers, probably.
I don't think.
I haven't noticed any decline in the population of snakes at all there.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. We have a problem in Florida where not so much Florida Fish and Wildlife, but U.S. Fish and Wildlife in the federal parks and the federal properties, you can't touch anything, right? So, but you can run over whatever you want.
Oh yeah, we say that all the time.
Yeah, and it's disheartening. Where I've not experienced this personally because I really don't go down that way, but I've got friends that pulled over to photograph a snake on the grass next to the shoulder of the road. Like, it's not even on the road, it's in the grass. And they're going to take pictures, and the goal is to get some pictures and then with their foot or whatever, shoo it back so it doesn't get waffled, you know? And Fish and Wildlife stops them, and they're like, you can't go near that animal. We don't want you within 10 feet of it. And then as they're saying this, a truck drives by and runs over two other snakes. And they say to the cop, hey, you're not going to go pull him over and fine him? No. There's a problem with that, you know? But,
that was one of our videos we made, the Everglades carnage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest frustration that we have with the wildlife management areas here where they have hunting seasons and stuff. Like, you can't take hooks into WMAs. Like, you'll get a ticket. Like, how strict they are about that, like, I don't know, but it's frustrating because it's like if you're not carrying like a backpack full of snake bags or containers, like, you literally just have a hook. And I mean, some of that stuff we're in, like the sandhills, like, it's thick brush, and it's like, I want a hook because I want to be able to move stuff at my feet. Yeah. And so, like, when me and Jake went to this WMA last time, like, I carried a hook. I was like, dude, look, a ticket from DNR is going to be cheaper than a hospital bill from an Eastern Diamondback because we're in prime Eastern Diamondback turf. Like, it's dumb. Like, guys can come and you know, hunt, and they have limits, obviously, but it's like, it's so bizarre that you can come here to remove wildlife permanently. But if I come in here with a hook, because of people that have unfortunately ruined it for everyone else because of the poaching, like, I can't carry a hook now because you know, the DNR can't tell if I'm one of the guys that's going to take stuff home or not. But it's, to me, it's like, if you don't have anything to contain something, like, why would that be a problem if it's
For sure.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
gonna just hook it all, carry it all the way back.
right?
The funny thing about a snake hook is, even if it's illegal to carry one in a certain spot, within 3 minutes I can find a stick that's going to work
Exactly.
the exact same
Yeah.
as a snake hook. So what's the point of that?
And in the Everglades, you can't wear headlamps. It's illegal to do that. You're not supposed to wear a headlamp because then your hands are free. That's
Yep.
I mean, that's stupid.
And one of the most annoying things about, not all of them, but a lot of these wildlife, officers, they don't know anything about the animals. We one time got pulled over because, the logo on my van,
Where are you going with this?
I'll tell you,
Okay.
the logo on my van, it says Traveling World of Reptiles on the side of my van. So when we go to a forest preserve, or if we go to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, the second
That
you
was a
park
pain.
that van, somebody gets on their phone and calls their local wildlife commission, say, hey, there's guys collecting, his truck says Traveling World. We've been stopped and harassed
We got stopped 3 times in the Smokies.
3 times in the Smokies just because my truck says
Someone said we
Traveling
were
World of
collecting
Reptiles.
salamanders.
And we weren't.
Should count as
Anyways.
profiling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Red deer.
A few years ago, we got stopped in Illinois. We were at a forest preserve, and it was, the start of spring when the salamanders were moving, and we were making a video, not hurting the animals, not collecting them, not really even touching them, just flipping and photographing them. And this wildlife officer cuts in front of my van as I'm pulling out of the forest preserve entrance. Literally, it was almost like a movie. And the guy gets out and he's like, "Are you collecting chameleons?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Someone said you're collecting chameleons in there." He's calling salamanders chameleons. And I'm like, dude,
I think I got
chameleons aren't even native to this continent.
got a
idiot,
van full
you
of
know?
panthers. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you're gonna police, herpers, at least know your herps.
Yeah.
I mean, you just
The biggest irony of that story is it's a spot we go to all the time to find salamanders. And this is it was like the height of the migration to the vernal pools, and they had just done a controlled burned the crap out of this place.
Melted the salamanders.
And we were like, you guys know that there's salamanders everywhere right now, And we were talking to it was a woman.
Wildlife
She was like the local wildlife biologist, and we were like, we're just gonna go check out can we go in the burn now that it's done? And they're like, yeah, no problem. Well, she had a huge attitude, and she was like, you can't touch these animals because it's like a protected area, and we're like, we're just videoing as we see them, and
Yeah.
she said, you can't disturb their habitat or flip logs. We're like, you just scorched
Just burned
the
half.
entire you
Yeah.
nuked it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've gone back, and the population is way down. We don't find spotted salamanders anymore like we used to. We used to find 7, 8 every trip, and now you might find 1 every other time you go. It's
Wow.
The funniest part about that story is I was in a regular van in front of him and didn't have a logo.
Yeah.
And I looked left and I saw the cop flying down the road, and I was like, I'm gone. I just took off, and they cut him off. And,
That's when Dave should have said the guy with the chameleons was in that unmarked van.
Right,
That
right.
get to me.
Nice.
He's got a truck
Nice.
full of veils. Go get him.
Nice.
They wouldn't know what that is.
Yeah, I will say,
know.
I made comments about U.S. Fish and Wildlife down in the Glades, but Florida FWC, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, they've done some bad things. We all know they have, but most of the guys that are legit boots on the ground cops, they have a general idea. They know what's what, and they're usually really cool with herpers. I've actually never had a problem in field with FWC, but I did get them called on me in a WMA. I had family in from out of town. They wanted to see the Everglades. I was like, well, I'm not driving all the way down there, but we'll go to WMA. It's the same thing, right? And I had a headlamp on, and we had a handheld flashlight, and I would pull up to what looked like a snake, and I would just shine the light down out my window at the ground right next to me, because spotlighting is illegal, right? And we got pulled over by Fish and Wildlife, and he's like, hey, man, I know you guys are looking for snakes, aren't you? I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. He's like, do me a favor, step out of the car. I was like, okay, here we go. And he's like, I didn't want to say this in front. I see you got tourists with you. He's like, I didn't want to say this in front of them, but poachers called in on you. So there were poachers that were hunting deer and alligators illegally. They saw us as a golden opportunity. So they called Fish and Wildlife and said, hey, there's a black Subaru on the levee. They're spotlighting deer, and he's like, that sounds weird. Poachers don't ride around with multiple people in the car in a freaking Subaru. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
and yeah, so I thought that was interesting. He's like, I have to do my job. Unfortunately, he's like, I don't know where they are, but we'll find them eventually. I was like, all right.
I had one problem with FWC. I was in the South Everglades, and I saw cottonmouth in the middle of the road. I knew it was going to get hit. I shoot it off the road, and just by pure dumb luck, an FWC truck right behind me pulls me over. And I mean, I was there for an hour. He was just screwing with me for an hour, threatening to arrest me. But I eventually said, hey, look, man, I didn't want the snake to get hit. And I just kind of gave him a pity story. And he finally let me go. But 2 other cop cars pulled in behind him. And I mean, I literally rescued a snake. Why would you harass someone?
Slow night.
That's
Slow night.
yeah, I mean, I guess.
I'll tell you
It's so
one of
bizarre
the
that backwards is just because it's like this is all you're supposed to be protecting wildlife, and like when someone tries to protect wildlife,
right.
Yeah.
it doesn't make
And
sense.
all I did
very
was
backwards.
I coaxed it
Very
off the road.
backwards.
That's all I did. And for an hour, I sat there being threatened to be arrested and fined. He did let me go. He didn't fine me. He didn't give me a ticket. But I think he just spent a lot of time just trying to figure out who I was and what I was doing. And
Yeah,
he
I think
realized it.
it also depends on where you are, because there are, as you well know, you boys have been in the South Everglades and Everglades National Park and the other federal lands of the region will remain anonymous. A lot of people poaching snakes and field collecting, and you can't do it. So he may have wanted to feel you out and wait for dispatch to tell him that you got a clean bill of health, as they say, and sorry that you had to go through that. I'm glad it panned out, but
Yeah, you can't blame them because they don't know the difference between a poacher and a guy who's just shooting a snake off the road. You know what I mean?
They get paid to be lied to all day, every day.
exactly.
So like I don't blame them in that regard, but it's also going back to the WMA thing. Like if I'm not carrying around a bunch of bags and things for containment, but I have a hook, I think the only logical argument I think against it would be like a biosecurity thing of like
which they're not concerned with.
They're not, but
yeah,
if they said, hey, this is why we don't want you to have hooks, because it's like I was just up with a hook in Francis Marion, now we're down at a WMA down here, like okay, I kind of get it. If there's something floating around up there or wherever else, like sure, but for the most part I think it's just like
I think your argument is quite sound, but I don't think they're thinking like that. I don't.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. There was a story of a guy who he was a bona fide scumbag, and he was on the run. He had warrants and stuff, and he was down in Big Cypress, and he caught a cottonmouth and threw it in a backpack just as Fish and Wildlife showed up, and he was on a bicycle, and he threw the bike in the canal, and then he had the backpack with the cottonmouth on his back, and then he jumped in the canal, and they're chasing him, and then he's like, don't grab me, there's a cottonmouth in my backpack, and like that was a whole nother thing. So you get some kooky characters down south.
It's Florida, man.
It's Florida, man. Yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Cottonmouth in the backpack.
Yep, just loose, just flopping around in there.
That's all down there.
I mean, why would you make it so obvious? I would have just calmly left the snake in my backpack and just tried to act cool. And there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, people are.
Although I wouldn't put a snake in my backpack to poach anyway. But
I will say this: a pseudo win for herpers in Florida venomous. They made it illegal. It's actually a third-degree felony to possess venomous in Florida without a license.
I mean, they get captive or just having it in your possession, like in the wild.
So that was the thing, is it didn't specify. So the law was written so that people don't keep venomous illegally in captivity. But the way it was written, that people were actually getting arrested because they move a diamondback off the road. And none of those cases stuck in court. They all got through it because it's dumb. And that's when FWC revised that rule, saying that, okay, it's truly possession. So if you have a snake hook in a state park and you scoot a diamondback off the road, or you stop and take pictures with it real quick, maybe you tail it for 5 minutes on the road or 2 minutes on the road to take a grip and grin photo, no problem. The minute you put it in a bag, oh, now you're toast. So
At least they'll let you hook it and take a picture. I thought you were
Yeah.
going to tell me it's a 3rd-degree felony.
No,
I'd have been in jail 10 times over if that.
yeah, no. Now there is certain areas like certain WMAs, and I'm pretty sure all the federal property, with the exception of like saving wildlife, there is no molestation of wildlife and or removing of flora and fauna. So it just depends on what you were doing. You know what I mean? I think if they're watching you for a half an hour on the side of the road, just balling up this diamondback for a 30-minute photo shoot, that could be construed as molestation of the animal, and therefore you might get a hefty fine, you might get arrested. I don't know. But you scooting it across the road or taking a grip and grin photo, that no harm, no foul. At least in my observations.
Yeah.
How dare you save a keystone species?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oof.
Yeah, I've come across a lot of pythons in the Everglades, and I'm not licensed to kill them, so I just got to look at them and say, "Oh, well, there's nothing I can do." When I should be allowed to grab it and bag it.
That's crazy, man. How many times you been to the Glades and seen pythons? Ballpark.
I've probably seen. I mean, considering I don't live down there, I found over a dozen pythons. Some of them 10 feet plus, and a lot of them 5-6 feet or smaller. But every time I find one, there's nothing I could do. One time I was herping down there, and there was a guy with, the big lights on his truck. I knew he was a licensed python hunter.
Swamp Man or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I flagged him down. I said, "Hey, I got a python over here. It's, because he was only a couple 100 yards away from me, and I flagged him down. He came over. I gave him the snake. But other than that, I just have to let these big pythons cross the road. I can't do anything about it, which is stupid.
Yeah. Which is stupid. Stupid. Yeah. Still haven't found one.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. But then, like you were saying earlier, people can go down there and end up killing native species looking for
that they do.
pythons. Like those hunts. I think those hunts are stupid.
Oh, it's crazy, man. We'll go down to, I'll say it openly on air. We'll go down to Big Cypress and Big Cypress. And dude, some of my favorite small little dirt roads, little cut off roads that are outside of the federal park, where we would find amazing glass lizards and beautiful neonate cottonmouths and blue garter snakes and just really, really primo, king snakes. And you won't find anything anymore. And if you do, it's waffled because there's these giant dually trucks with 6 or 7 kids in the back that are out there partying, drinking beers with spotlights, and they just run it all over. Sucks.
He almost got waffled one night by. Remember that guy? He had jumped out for a corn snake.
Scarlet snake.
No, it was a corn snake. It was a beautiful corn snake.
Nice.
In the Everglades, and this roid head dude in this
truck.
giant truck.
Yeah.
And I had to hit the guy with my light because he didn't see him, and he was about to blow him up on the road. And got slammed on his brakes. And then he told us, he yelled at us, "It's illegal to collect snakes." We're like, "We're not collecting snakes tomorrow."
Yeah.
He's out. He's probably running them all over. But
Oh yeah.
He's worried about us.
Yeah, it's like you guys said earlier. Like when you're booking down a dirt road at night with all the shadows and all the little nooks and crannies of the dirt road, you're not going to see that corn. You're not going to see that scarlet snake. It's just not going to happen. You're just going to waffle them. So
yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Getting back to the Burmese pythons in the Everglades, it's fascinating to me that in Myanmar, where the largest population of Burmese pythons exists, they're going extinct, yet they're thriving as invasive species in the Everglades, just like
in Thailand too.
Think about
they're barely even found anymore in Thailand.
Yeah.
Well, shit, there's retics in Puerto Rico now.
Yeah.
It's like, are we surprised that they're doing well? It's, it's everything about where they come from and none of the stuff that keeps them in check. It's, it's
plenty of food for them.
Plenty of food, but it's hard to imagine a snake that can grow to 20 feet can hide. I mean, how does that happen?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because we herp Singapore, and there's plenty of native retics, and we've come across maybe 5 or 6 in the times. Most of them small. We did find one pretty decent sized one, but I look at the snake and I'm like, where are these things going? Obviously, they must be going underground. Maybe they're climbing trees, but.
Remember when we were in Tiaman, one of the coolest retic sightings we had was There was one, I mean, like
100 feet.
almost at the top of his tree. We could just barely see it. Kind of made out the silhouette. So I got the drone and I flew it up the tree.
Oh.
That's awesome.
And drone the retic. Like we have it on video. And later on,
I think I saw it on your Instagram.
yeah, later on, yeah, I did make a reel out of it.
Yeah.
But later on, I checked the height of the drone, and it was like right at 100 feet that retic.
Wow.
Was
Well, that's
sitting
great
at,
that you
like,
can get that
crazy.
data from the drone.
Yeah, crazy.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
we
that's awesome.
we didn't think it was going to be that high, but it's crazy high.
Well, yeah, there it is.
Is that the
That's
picture?
so cool.
That's the video.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's great
Man.
that they let you do it.
Yeah, he didn't seem too bothered by it.
Yeah.
I'll take a wild type retake over the morphs, dude, any day. That's just
Dude, all day long, man.
They are
100% agree. They're beautiful. And if you
wish they
shine them
didn't
at
do
night,
big.
the refraction of the scales is, I mean, it's like a sunbeam snake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably, I don't know, at least a 6-foot snake there.
So
Seems to be a chondro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. The way it's it does.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, think about all the people in the past and now that just keep them in a giant tub, you know?
Yep.
It's 100 feet up in a giant jungle tree. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, they love to climb.
Well, speaking of captivity, do you guys want to chime in on some of the stuff that you guys keep and or breed or work with?
We used to breed more often than we did. I used to breed my Burmese pythons, and I would get, with my large female, I would get 50 to 70 eggs.
Wow.
It was a lot of, I mean, she was a big girl. But, you know, we've kind of gotten away from breeding other than the, holy crap, there's eggs in the enclosure.
Yeah.
You know, that happens once in a while, like with our redfoot tortoises. He had a clutch of ball pythons that he hatched out a few years ago. So we kind of accidentally breed sometimes because we just have so many animals. And when you get a male and a female in the same enclosure, obviously nature takes its place. It's going to happen. But
Yeah.
as far as intentionally breeding, there's really no market for a lot of these big constrictors. It's all color morphs now. So if you don't have a caramel, ghost, you know, striped tiger, something, it's like no one cares.
Especially when the balls are just oversaturated. I did have a group of hingebacks.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Homiana, and I lost my male. He just randomly died. I don't think he wasn't healthy when I got him. I could never really get him to eat much. So I'm still trying to get a male to do that because they're cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
They're
but as
awesome.
far as
We're
captives for our
Big
shows,
Connexus fans here.
What's that?
Said we're big Connexus fans here.
Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, they're awesome.
so you know, when I first started the business, I learned really quick how stupid it was to keep many animals that I didn't bring to shows. I would just have them as a hobby, and I mean, I'm not kidding you, probably 100 plus animals. And then I realized all I'm doing is feeding these things and wasting money. So I finally, you know, as the years went on, I finally learned just to have show animals. And I bring what I call the big five. We have the gator. We have a large constrictor, whether it be a boa or a berm or a retic. We've got monitors. We've got black throat monitors. We've got water monitors.
Huge Asian
water monitor. Big tortoise. We usually bring a big sulcata. And then another type of lizard, maybe an iguana, a tegu. And then you kind of bring your smaller species, and maybe a colorful turtle, a couple of colubrid snakes, and that'll make up your 10 to 12 snakes that you bring to a show.
Nice.
But as far as captivity, I mean, if you asked us what animals we've kept in captivity, I'd say to you, what haven't we kept in captivity at some point? But
well, I mean, right now though, I keep a lot more.
he keeps a lot more than I do, just because he's into it more than I am. I'm
big into like Pituophis. I have some. I do have a breeding group of Florida pines.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm trying to fatten up, and hopefully I'll get some eggs from them here in the near future.
But if you named any popular species, we've had it.
Mhm.
Whether
Nice.
it be a chondro python or, I mean, anything. We've gone through them all, and you know, you kind of learn which ones are good at shows and which ones. I'd love to bring a emerald tree boa to a show, but the second you put your hand in there, it's going to light you up.
Yeah.
So you bring what works. And I've learned it doesn't matter as long as you're performing in front of audiences that aren't reptile geeks. I don't care if it's a garter snake or a Burmese python, you'll get the same reaction. They're just like blown away, like, wow, that is so cool. I've never seen that before. Can I touch it? Can I hold it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I've noticed. Doesn't matter how scared people say they are, there's still just this tiny bit of curiosity still that they still want to see it. You know, it may be from 50 feet away, but there's still a curiosity there. You know?
Look this up. Did you know the most popular visited house in the zoo is not the ape house? It's not the big cat house. It's the reptile house. More people go and visit the reptile house than any other. It's because of what you just said. When you can view an animal that can end your life behind glass, a little snake that has venom, people are fascinated by that. What you fear, you want to see, but you want to see it from a safe distance.
That's why people visit prisons all the time.
Nice.
That's why you watch, you know, these shows on YouTube and on TV, because you're viewing it.
I don't watch it.
From, well, some people do. You're viewing it at
my
a
wife
TV
loves
show,
those,
not
like
from-
serial killer.
I love I love those
every
shows.
show my wife's into. It's like, oh, a young girl was raped and dismembered. I'm like, why are you watching?
Right before bed.
It's
They always watch it right before bed, man.
He should be sleeping with one eye open.
Yeah, and then they wake you up at 2 a.m. going, babe, I can't sleep.
I heard a noise.
I heard a noise.
Like, it's probably that serial killer you wanted to be.
One thing that I am guilty of is I'll say to my girl, like, babe, I heard a noise. I'm like, what was it? She goes, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
There you go. Go find out.
So
Sounds like you should go check it out then.
yeah, right.
Let me know if you need me.
Yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny.
What about you guys? What do you keep? What are you into?
We got a lot of. I mean, Smitty, go first.
Oh God.
Give us a synopsis of the Smith household.
Rhino rats, chondros, Baird's rat snakes, rough-scaled sandboas, some corn snakes, and then an ungodly amount of spiders at this point.
Okay. So you're a big snake.
Yeah. I've kept some dart frogs and stuff in the past, and kept a couple chameleons off and on over the years, and I bred cresteds for a little while, but it's pretty much nothing but snakes and spiders now.
How many different species of spiders do you say you have?
You've got to be over 50 now, bro.
Probably 30-ish species wise, and I'm probably closing in on 70 spiders.
Wow. Do you have one of those Goody blues from India?
I do. I got a pair of them.
Female?
Yeah. I just got a male recently, like week before last. My buddy sent me a male he had. But those things
Are you breeding them? Are you breeding your spiders?
Not yet. So I actually just paired my bluefoot baboons for the first time the other night.
Those sound aggressive.
No, they're pretty cool. It's a dwarf species, so they're small. But,
okay.
Yeah, you don't want to get bit by an old world tarantula.
No.
But
I have the Metallica that I'll pair eventually. That male probably has another molt or two before he'll be ready. And then I've got some other odds and ends that I'm planning on doing eventually. I'm trying not to bank on something happening for sure, but my plans are to have a handful of species that I'll be doing. But
so is that Goody blue as I see on the? Because I feel like someone just takes the saturation and just.
Yeah, I mean they're
definitely
more blue when they're younger. Like when you get an older female, they turn almost more of like a black.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah,
and they got spots of yellow on them too, don't they?
Yeah, on the legs.
I've been tempted to get one of those, but geez, they're pretty pricey.
They've come down a lot. They're not nearly as bad as they used to be. That's for sure. They're much more realistic now, price wise. A lot of people are breeding them now, so the demand and the supply have caught up to one another. So,
how are they in terms of defensiveness? I mean, can you handle them?
I mean, you probably could. My female's an asshole. Like if I blow on her, she's in her cork round throwing up.
Really?
Hands and tapping at me and slapping she's
You could have just told me I can't handle it. She's ready.
I mean,
She's ready
like
to
I said,
throw
I've
down.
seen people do it. I don't, I
He's like, but enough about my wife.
Yeah, but I don't think they know
ornamentals
the
is the last
toxicity
thing.
of that.
Yeah,
Is
the
that-
ornamentals are the last thing I want to get tagged.
Here, I'll
by.
say it. I would not bring it to a party or a show.
Oh,
I mean, you
ever.
could
just launches
keep
onto
it
a kid's face.
yeah, keep it in something that they can't reach. But
Yeah.
Well, some of the best animals to bring to our show are the ones you can't touch. Like we have a big alligator snapping turtle,
mhm.
weighs probably about 20, 25 pounds. And, we just obviously undershell it, hold it up kind of like a shot put, and that thing just opens its mouth. And
Mhm.
obviously no one pets it, but man, it is a showstopper. People are like, wow, look at that thing.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite turtle species.
I tell people, I do this funny joke where I say, because people ask, where's that thing from? I said, well, they're native to Illinois. This is the common snapping turtle. And they're like, wow. And I'm like, well, you don't have to worry about not going in the water, And I say, has anybody ever been bitten by a snapping turtle? Raise their hand. No hand goes up. And then I say, just don't go skinny dipping. You'll jump in as Bruce and come out as Caitlin.
Called a lure joke.
All right.
I've come very close to getting my hands on an alligator snapper.
Do you need a license in your state? I'm guessing you would.
I don't think they're not native here, so I don't think
So I had one for many years, and I love that thing. And it wound up, I got grandfathered in because they made it illegal, and I wound up giving it to a buddy out of state, who then he kept it and he got it to like 80 pounds.
Wow.
And he had like a whole kiddie pool in a barn for it and everything, and like a 500-gallon pool, and then he wound up giving it to a research biologist who has ponds on property, breeding them for a re-release into the creek systems where they're native.
Yeah, they're trying to do that here.
Well,
Yeah.
they tried to do that here.
Yeah, they found some of them turned up dead in nets, but
I think they raised like 50.
Yeah.
And then had released them, and like I think half of them drowned in a fisherman's net.
Oh damn!
Like he had like left it across like the waterway and forgot about it.
I think the alligator snapping turtle is the most boring, coolest animal ever. It just
for
sits
sure.
there and does nothing, and you're like, every time I look at it, I'm like, you're so awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, maybe one day when I have more space to be able to set them up proper, I'd like to do one. But
I mean, and honestly, I think it's cool that they take forever to grow. I do. I had mine maybe 10, 12 years, and I got it when it was the size of an iPhone. And when I gave it to my buddy, she was probably 15 or 20 pounds. Yeah. No, probably 15, 20 pounds, something like that.
mm-hmm.
So she's a big girl. But
yeah, those big, those big 100 and
ours
some pounders, they're dinosaurs.
yeah, man. Yeah. But he fed her real good. Like I said, he had like a 500-gallon pool in his barn.
You need that.
And he had a whole filtration system, and he had fish that he caught from the local creek, and it was all native stuff to his area, North Florida. And yeah, I'm glad that she got to go to some good use for the future generations in some facet. So
the problem is there's a bunch of stuff I want. We go to a zoo and we see a big adult alligator snapper, and I'm like, Katie, like we could have had one of these.
Yeah.
The zoo's like where you go to shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Use that.
I'm like,
Well, it's
I got some of those. I got some of those. I got some of those.
Right. Yeah.
It's like when you watch snake shows on TV, and you're like, how many of these have I kept before?
Right. Have you bred the rhino rats? Are you trying?
Yeah, I have. So this year, the last 2 years, I've been super slack on breeding stuff, but I have one pair that I keep cohab together full time, and then I have another pair that I need to probably put a couple more meals in them, and I'll probably put them together. They're kind of late into the game now, but yeah, I've produced them a couple times, and when I actually put effort into making it happen, they're pretty easy to breed. But I've just been so busy with work and Fulvius stuff and whatnot. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to devote to having a bunch of babies to feed and all that stuff. So,
right. What about you, Phil? What do you keep?
Oh, geez. I've got a little bit of everything. I've got a bunch of Trans-Pecos rat snakes. Those are my favorite little derps. This is my first year ever trying to breed them. So I got 2 pairs living together as we speak. It's nerve wracking because I've bred a lot of stuff over the years, but most of it was unintentional, like you guys said earlier. But like this time, I've really put a lot of elbow grease in this one, and I'm like, man, I hope something happens because right now they're just looking at each other like, what the hell are you doing here? You know. But Trans-Pecos rat snakes. I've got some carpet pythons, got some water pythons, got some corn snakes. I've got Cerastes. I've got a handful of cobra species. I've got rock rattlers. I've got cottonmouths. I've got Trans-Pecos copperheads. Oh man, I'm forgetting stuff. Gila monster. Little bit of everything. Some different African species of scorpions. So.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize you had your venomous license.
Oh yeah, man. I'm a venomous guy for a long time, and right now I've narrowed it down to the room is official, with the exception of some Florida native stuff like cottonmouth, corn snakes. That's really pygmy rattlesnakes. That's really it for Florida native stuff. Everything else is arid steppland and or desert. The room is a desert room, so most of everything is either African or Middle Eastern, or West Texas, because I have an affinity for West Texas.
Texas.
Yeah,
how's
man.
How's that Cerastes? That sounds pretty sick.
It's fun, man. My buddy and I were lucky. We imported a massive group, and with many imports, as most people know, things tend to slowly die off for one reason or another. And we sold off a few here and there, but I've got 3 left. I've got 1.2, and the slow game, man. Just raising them up. So they're probably old enough to breed this year, but I want them bigger. Our good friend Jason Keller, he just bred them last year, and his adults are way larger than mine. So I think I'm gonna give at least another year to get some size, and then put them together. They're really, really unique species. That whole Cerastes group, in terms of egg laying, the eggs are like translucent, like see-through, and they have a very, very short incubation time. It's like 30 days. Wow. So I'm really excited to do them in the future, but yeah, right now I'm focusing on Trans-Pecos rat snakes, and next year it's going to be corn snakes and Arizona mountain kings and probably Fields vipers if I play my cards right. Okay. So,
do your Cerastes, do they mainly just bury themselves in the sand, or are they pretty active above the substrate?
At nighttime, they're on the cruise. I don't know if they're, and this is going to sound horrible, but it's fact of life. I don't know if they're cruising for moisture. They don't get water more than every 90 to 100 days. I give them a little bit of water. So I don't know if they're looking for moisture in that regard, or if they're on the hunt. I feed them very sporadically just because they are so sedentary. I don't want them to just get fat in captivity. I don't give them enough substrate to excavate the way they should, but they have enough to bury themselves and feel comfortable. So I'm constantly moving the rocks around in the enclosure and sifting the sand around and changing the scent. When we imported them, a lot of the bags had sand from Egypt. So I saved that sand. And at least once a year, I still have a I don't even know, I guess like a 12-ounce bag, maybe 15-ounce bag left from however many years ago. And I'll take a handful of that Egyptian sand and I'll throw that in there just to keep them feeling at home, I guess you want to call it.
Good idea.
Yeah. So they've done really well for me. I've kept hundreds of them over the years, just from like import days and shit. And I'm gonna put some weight on them this year, and then I'm really gonna pick our friend, like I said, Jason Keller last year. He bred them and his looked fantastic. So I'm gonna pick his brain and hopefully get to do them later this year, probably next April. I think will be the window.
You got them on lizards, or you got them on rodents?
Oh no, I give them mice, or honestly hoppers right now. Anything more than that, in my opinion, the fur is too much, and the feces will just be a bunch of fur. So if I've done rat pups in the past, as long as they're not too fuzzy, rat pinks are awesome, but rats just have so much more fat. And I've actually seen my girls just pack on the weight real quick because of the fat content of the rats. So they're purely on mice now. I don't even want to try and do other prey items. I know it's horrible and we should vary their diet, blah, 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 blah. They are happy. I'm happy. That's all I care about.
What a concept.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, do you keep a king cobra, or do you have mainly the naja? Or
No.
naja,
Nah, no, I've got a handful of naja species that are honestly pets. I've done a lot of cobras over the years, but I'm done with big elapids. I've had my long decades of that fun. Now I'm tired of cleaning poo and tired of getting spat at. And I've got a good group of wrinkles, which are my hands down my favorites. Those will probably breed next year. This year I kind of missed my window and I wasn't focused. I was more focused on the Transpaco stuff. So, but next year I'll probably dabble with them. And the cobras, most of them are all pets that I've just had for a long time. I've got a Nubian cobra that's pushing 21 years old.
Wow.
I've got probably the only Ashes cobra left in the country, and he's probably 18 years old, 17 years old. So just
no specs.
No Asian stuff. All Africa, Middle Eastern, the MENA region, if you will. I've got Ethiopian cobra. There's a couple other species that if I had the opportunity to jump on, I would, like Oxyana. If I can get my hands on some Oxyana, I definitely would keep them. That's like a dream species for me. Maybe Walternesia, the Egyptian or Sinai black snakes. I think if I can get my hands on them, that'd be pretty freaking cool. But like I said, I've had a lot of elapids over the years, and I'm slowly phasing to puffs. How could I? Smitty, how could you?
Wait, how did you?
How could I forget about puffs? So I've got East Cape KwaZulu-Natal locality puffs, and they were sold to me as Namibians, but our good friend Francois in Namibia said that they are not Namibian. He said they may have been Namibian 5 generations ago, and they're just selectively bred to be really pretty. He says my snakes are prettier than any snake in Namibia, but I'm calling them Namibian because that's what they're supposed to be, at least in the pet trade. So next year I'll have Cape. I'll definitely be pairing Cape Puffs next year.
So we're trying to get DNR to give us our venomous license, but it's just there's nobody in Illinois who has a venomous license outside of the zoo. There was one guy, but he moved. He worked at this place called the Discovery Center, but he recently got rid of all his stuff and moved. So there's like privately owned.
That was AZA.
Yeah.
So.
No
crotalids. You don't have any crotalids?
Yeah, no. I've got banded rocks, and I've got Tamaulipan rocks, and I've got pygmies, which aren't, they're sisters. Dusky pygmies, close enough. Right. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting a rattler. No, that's it. Yeah, we used to have Easterns, used to have cane breaks, used to have specs, had mojos for a little bit.
No accidents?
No, not knock on wood. I had a little mishap with an Indo-Chinese spitting cobra one time. There's actually a funny cartoon made out of the story.
That was great. I love that.
Dude, man, he spent so much time on that, or I think his wife did spend some time on that. That was a good story. But yeah, no, knock on wicker wood.
Wicker wood.
Yeah, wicker wood. Yeah, man, it's just it's zen. It's zen and in love with the critters. I don't play with stuff. That's what I got rat snakes for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you use? Shift cages? How do you?
No, everything's hooks and manual manipulation. I've got shift boxes from years ago with some of the other high speed stuff, but I feel like there are certain species that do really well with shift boxes. But I'm of the sentiment of you need to be able to handle your animals in a safe, professional, methodical way. Shift boxes, trap boxes, they can be a blessing, but you should never rely on them.
Use it as a tool, not a crutch.
Correct. 1,000%. So, I actually, I had a really cool trap box, and I used it with my King Brown back in the day, and I lost it, and I just found it, and it still had like his poo on the inside. I was like, oh, memories.
Fossilized.
But, yeah, right. Just caked on there. Oh, the fucking bastard.
I don't know if this is a good thing for you, Phil, but you're a good candidate for a Nature in Your Face episode when we come down to North Florida.
Yeah. Man, it's funny that I'm just going down memory lane. That King Brown had its right eye was missing when I got it. It was just scarred over. And I was like, all right, battle scars, whatever. Couldn't figure out how it happened. I'll never know. It was a wild animal, you know? And then like 6 to 8 months into me having him, he grabbed a live mouse by the leg and he let the mouse chew on his face.
Oh, junk.
And I was like, he sacrificed that eye for the food.
Yeah.
And that was like his MO. He would bite the mouse in the thigh, and then the mouse would turn around and bite him in the face, and it would die 2 seconds later. But that was just every single time I fed him a live prey item. That's just what happened. I was like, psychopath.
He could probably lose the other eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't need his eyes. He's got that tongue.
Yeah. But yeah, no, when you guys are down in South Florida, let me know, and we'll definitely do some road cruising or something.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have to, do that, and Carolina too. That's we could hit both those.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, I can't believe I forgot about the puffs, man. Fuck.
I know.
Dude, those are my babies, man. I love those little bastards. Dude, and the babies are getting so big. Jesus. But yeah, next year for sure. I was gonna pair capes this year because the girl is primo. I timed it with temperatures to be perfect, and I was cycle feeding the one big female perfect, and she shed, and it's the best shed she's ever done. She hasn't shed in like 4 or 5 months, and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna take the boy, I'm gonna throw him in there, and he's gonna make magic. And then I look at him, and he's like half the size of her, and I was like, nah, that's not happening. He gonna get eaten. I'm not playing that game. So
it's like the wagglers, pit vipers in Singapore. It's like the male's this big and the female's this giant log.
Yeah. Well,
that
I wish that they were like that, because I feel like I would have had more babies by now. But so yeah, but they're cool, man. And I like the Cape localities or KwaZulu Natal localities. Those southeastern South African species or phenotype, I should say, they only get 2.5, maybe 3 foot max. They're not the giant diesel caterpillar puffs that you see on National Geographic. So I'm really liking the smaller stuff these days. I'm too old and fat to be chasing stuff around the room. Yeah, I know, right?
We're gonna get there.
Yeah. So no more mambas, no more boom slangs, little stuff, little rattlesnakes.
That's cool. That's quite a collection, though. I mean, I'm envious because we can't even get a Susurrus here. I mean, nothing.
Well, even if you got a venomous permit in the state,
Yeah,
you
can't have
can
any
only keep U.S. native, and then you can't keep any. I don't think you can keep a timber.
No crotalines. It would be only the pygmy and the cottonmouth and the copperhead. And you can get a Gila monster if you wanted to, but other than that,
very limited.
Wow.
Almost not worth having.
And no exotics, of course.
No.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you said that.
Funny, DNR will call us. I just called him regarding a.
No, he didn't call me. I told him.
Oh, that's right. But he gave you permission to go get it.
Yeah. A police officer, a friend of mine, does security at a local rail yard, and he texted me and said, "Hey, man, we got a snake in one of the containers. Can you ID it?" And so I was like, "All right, maybe." And I'm thinking it's just like a local species. And he sends me a picture, and he's like, "The container came from China." And it was a Chinese pit viper.
Wow.
And so I sent the picture to our DNR guy, and he was like, are you comfortable handling that snake? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And he was like, well, I'm going to call them and tell them you're the only one authorized to go get the snake. And
that's really
like,
cool,
okay.
man. That's cool.
Well, then I'm going to get the snake, and the DNR guy, he calls me back. He's the head herpetologist. He calls me back, and he is pissed. He's like, man, somebody already went and got that snake. And he's like, I don't know who it is, but I'm going to find out because they're not authorized to be handling venomous. So,
is it Dinocystrodon?
What's that? They don't know.
I think it was an elbow.
They couldn't determine which.
Okay.
They don't know the locale. Yeah, so we don't know which species it was exactly. But this guy, he's a local guy who works with reptiles. He breeds like blood pythons. But he went in there and he told the people, he was like, oh, it's not venomous. He misidentified it. He was like, it's just a red-tailed rat snake. Because that species, those species of viper have a red tail.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is red-tailed rat snake. Luckily, he hooked it and put it in a bucket and took it home. And they found out like camera, and the DNR called him and was like, send me a picture of that thing's face. And then I get a text from the DNO, and they're like, "Look at this idiot," like, and it's just this pit
Wow.
viper's face, like looking back.
Wow.
So luckily, he didn't get, just free handle that thing and pick it up and get tagged, and that'd have been on the news for sure.
I actually, I had a macrolapse that was imported on accident because when they shipped it from whatever African country it was, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's fine, it's harmless. It's just they just call it earth snake, black earth snake." And then they actually put macrolapse on the thing. They put the actual genus, and my guy called me and he's like, "Hey man, this isn't a lapid, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Let's have it. Let's take that home. Come on." So I actually got mine. I kept it alive for maybe a year, and then it wound up passing away. But it was cool, man. It was cool.
Yeah, I don't see that snake making it. It was super emaciated, like very skinny.
Do you think it was like a smuggle, or do you think it accidentally hitched a ride?
Probably.
I think it was accidental. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was an empty container. I guess they had emptied it, and the snake was just like on the floor.
Yeah. You guys remember there was that airline leaving Hong Kong, and there was a Fees Viper in the overhead compartment?
No, I don't remember
That was a
that.
long time ago, wasn't it?
Was that? Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I think
Yeah,
so.
and like everyone was like, "There's a snake on the plane." This is way before. I think it was before the Snakes on the Plane movie.
It's like legit snake on a
Yeah,
plane.
and it's like, "Oh well, it's China, it's native." It was like, no, that somebody was trying to smuggle that thing.
Mhm.
There's no Fees
Yeah.
Vipers in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Weird Montane,
Yeah,
not
extremely
quite a
rare,
not
right.
quite a viper, right? Just kind of shows up. Yeah, give me a break.
yeah.
That's kind of crazy to think that, like, at one point you could pack a snake in a suitcase.
There was a girl that used to go to the pet shop by me, and she had a Hog Island boa that was like her baby. She brought that Hog Island boa everywhere, and when it was only like 2 foot long, she was I guess she was from up north somewhere, and like once a month she'd fly up north to visit family. She was going to school down here, something like that, and she would just put it in her bra and get on the plane. And then it was a 2-hour flight. She'd get off the plane, take the snake out, put it in a deli cup that was in her purse or whatever. And she did that like 50 times. And then they put the body scanners in, and they're like, "Miss, is there something in your brassiere?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's my baby snake." Crazy.
Wow.
That's
That is crazy. It's a little crazy that she was putting a snake in her bra and flying with it, but
Yeah, she figured it was just safer just chilling in there. I mean, it didn't. It was
yeah.
like I said, it was a little noodle of a boa, but still, man,
People are goofy.
people are
100%.
goofy. Yeah.
100%.
Well, gentlemen, is there anything we want to touch base on before we wrap this show up?
I think we've covered a lot.
We
It's been
did.
a lot of fun.
You got
Yeah,
anything
man,
else
it's
on
a great
that
time.
list that you wanted to check off? Or?
I mean, I'm good, Smitty. You
Yeah,
good?
I think we covered everything perfectly.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was nice
Yeah, man.
meeting you guys and chatting with you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's freezing in this room, so if it looks like I have epilepsy, I don't. I'm just Jesus.
Yeah,
Cold.
we're
Now
in the
I gotta-
basement, so it's
It
like
is freezing.
It's freezing.
I've been
Yeah.
suffering the whole time, just trying to contain myself.
It's like upper
No, hey,
60.
this was great for our first podcast. We really appreciate you guys asking us to come on. We come back anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I gotta give, since you said it was freezing, I gotta give my weather report for the
Florida forecast.
the Florida forecast. So it is.
Or South Florida.
This is South Florida. So this is 73 degrees Fahrenheit outside
That's not that great.
with 87% humidity.
Humidity, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And in the desert room, it is 74 degrees Fahrenheit and 47% humidity.
Oh,
That was from Mike Kosicki. I know he's listening.
nice.
Did you get hit in the head by any falling iguanas in that last freeze we had a few months ago?
No, but I will say this. I have physically noticed less right now. I mean, give it 6 months and they'll all magically.
I was going to
appear again.
say, better start
But,
shooting them now.
Yeah, but there's usually at least 4 or 5 decent sized adults that bask on my neighbor's roof every day. And now there's only one. So
Mm.
it's something, you know,
Yeah,
it's something.
for sure.
But yeah. So, gentlemen, you have many social media outlets. Where can people find you, get a hold of you, watch all of your amazing content?
Well, the YouTube channel is obviously Nature in Your Face. So hit us up on Nature in Your Face. Check out our videos. We got somewhere around 330 videos from a lot of local herping spots and all over the country and even all over the world. So
TikTok, we're on TikTok. Nature in Your Face.
Instagram.
My personal is Herpataul, HERPATAUL. So that's my personal Instagram. But
And if you're in the Chicago area, I stress Chicago area. Don't call us if you're in California or Arizona or New Mexico, because we get a lot of that. But if you guys want a really cool comedic, very reasonably priced reptile show, just go to travelingworldofreptiles.com. That's our website. Fill out our booking application, book a party, and we'll come out and see you and make your 8-year-old very happy with 12 really cool reptiles at his birthday party.
Or, we do adult parties.
Yeah,
like legit we do.
Mm-hmm.
We've done weddings.
My tagline is,
make it weird, we'll show up.
you bake the cake, we'll bring the snake.
Oh, I love that.
Have you what about funerals? Have you had any?
No funerals. Weddings, yes. Funerals, no. In fact, that's funny you mention, because I think that's about the only thing that we haven't done. And we've done some really crazy stuff, but no funerals.
I did a 21-year-old girl's birthday party, and when I thought it was gonna be cool.
Yeah.
When I showed up, it was just her and her boyfriend. That was it.
Oh, that's cool, but also like
it is cool and weird.
Yeah. It's like who's that guy on TikTok that will hire a clown for just himself, or like hire a stripper for just himself.
Gosh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Your algorithm's different than my algorithm.
Yeah, well, there's this guy like he'll
clowns in mine.
Yeah, he'll hire like
territory now.
Yeah, he'll hire like a kid's birthday clown and tell them it's like for the 8-year-old's birthday, and the clown shows up and it's just like him in his apartment.
Now I'm gonna search this. I'm gonna be searching.
Yeah, he did one with what was it, a Tom Cruise impersonator, and the guy's like in outfit like Tom Cruise, sounds like Tom Cruise, and he's like, so what do you want me to do? He's like, I don't know, do some one-liners, like
whatever
so
you
awkward.
do.
Yeah, it's so awkward, man.
That's great.
That's too funny.
Well, the link to y'all's YouTube channel is in the description for anybody listening, to make it easy and accessible. I think Flippin' Tin's happening Thursday. I don't know for sure yet. So, I never know. Jake usually texts me that morning. He's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Flippin' Tin's tonight at 8. I'm like, okay. So
definitely let us know if you guys are going to, if you guys want to do Arizona or somewhere you guys haven't been that we have, we'd be more than happy to take you guys
down south. We'll let you know.
Yeah. I want to go to Arizona because Arizona's got all 3 of the things I love: scorpions, spiders, and snakes.
That's it, man. The trifecta.
We're not calling you a herper until you go to Arizona. How's that?
I feel like it's a qualifier.
That's not true. Phil's like, yeah, he's agreeing with me. Like, heck yeah, he's not a herper.
No, Smitty's a great herper, man. We got to get him out west. We got to get him back out west. We got to go back to West Texas, man. I got to find a fucking subuck in the wild.
We haven't
been there, so I shouldn't talk.
We got a buddy who wants us to go out there.
Been to Texas, but not West Texas.
I love it. It's fucking.
Sometimes when I can't sleep, I think about being in Big Bend at midnight, and I just go to sleep.
They need to draw a cross across Texas and make it 4 countries. I mean, that place is just so different. Each different, north, south, east, west, its own habitat and different snakes. It's a great place to herp.
Yeah, man. Absolutely ridiculous.
This episode was brought to you by Fulvius Apparel, fulviusapparel.com. Hats, shirts, coffee mugs, hoodies, all that good stuff. Check it out. Use the code THN at checkout. Get 15% off your order. Black Box Cages, blackboxcages.com. Also follow them on Facebook and Instagram. You need a rack, you need a cage. They've got something that will fit your needs. And then Cold-Blooded Caffeine, best coffee around. Snakes and Stogies blend. We're biased. Go get it. But there's a lot to choose from. Get them all. Just go on there once a week, buy you a bag, try all the different stuff. Start with ours, and then go down from there. And use the code SMOKE at checkout there. Get a little something off. What is Mike saying? Smitty needs to find a tiger rattler in Arizona. I want to find Price Eye and a Willie. Those are at the top of the list.
Yeah.
But I'll
we
take
haven't done a price tag
We're
yet.
not gonna price it. We can get you a Willie for
Well,
sure.
no problem.
I'll take whatever I can
Finally.
get.
and a
Tigers
plow.
are incredible. Yeah, I agree with that one. El Tigre.
That's probably the least offensive rattlesnake you will ever encounter. I'm pretty sure you can throw it down your shirt and it's not gonna hurt you. They're
What are you
just
talking about, a
super
tiger?
chubby. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. But their little tiny heads are funny.
they're funny. Very potent. You know, that's the most toxic venom of any rattlesnake, but
That's what I'm saying.
They're
just
pretty
so
gnarly.
unaggressive that you don't have to worry about them. They're just super cool snakes. I don't even think I ever heard one rattle.
Any rattlesnake's a good rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake's a good rattlesnake.
I'll
Love them.
take it. No.
They
We'll
can
see
make-
everybody later. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you guys. Thanks again. It's time to get out of this refrigerator. Jeez, I'm freezing.